I criticize ideas. The problem is that people take criticism of their ideas to be critiques of themselves. In other words, people can't divorce their ideas from their personhood. You are quite literally demonstrating this concept. So I play along and just clown flat earthers themselves. I mean, look at you. You're very clownable. You honestly think your position is one worthy of respect. I'm sorry, not all ideas should be respected. I mean, think about the people that diddle non-adults. Do you think I need to take their arguments seriously? Of course you don't, which means you agree some ideas are too stupid to take seriously. That's what I think of the Earth being flat. And we have countless pieces of evidence suggesting otherwise. I don't think the conspiracy about 9/11 is stupid, and that's mainly because it's at least in the realm of possibility. To be clear, I don't believe it, but it's at least plausible. Your conspiracy, on the other hand, literally has nothing. Not a shred of evidence, you don't have a model, and it doesn't stand up to basic scrutiny or amateur observation. What is there to take seriously?
Nigga, it is typical. That's what I'm saying. Son, if this nigga is saying something in response to shit that you say all the time, how long is this is supposed to be a fan of yours? A fan of yours.
And that was exactly my point. He's aware that I don't take this shit seriously, so why is he flying off the handle right now? He could have done this a long time ago, but now is the time? Further, he was very clearly reacting to that particular video, not to something I've said all the time, and this is why I called him out. He's clearly unaware that we have a relationship and that I talk to this person very often, and that's what's making me laugh. If you actually paid attention, you'd have seen this exchange in the comment section indicating that we do, in fact, have a relationship. So what's really going on here is you are offended. This is about you and how you feel. And again, you said you follow me, so why are you crying like this is your first time seeing me clown flat earthers? The truth is, you see me clowning someone else, and you feel like I'm attacking you.
How often does a fan come back to watch somebody he likes to be basically insulted just for believing in something that, again, has nothing to do with your topic in your videos, bro?
But the video was about that topic? That was the reason I made the video, to dispel misinformation spread by force and conspiracy theorists. The video is literally titled Debunking Conspiracy Theorists the Moon. You expecting me to talk about the Drake Kendrick beef?
Let me read this thing really said. It says, it's with a heavy heart that I announce one of my longtime followers and longtime supporter of this channel is an absolute and abject moron.
Abject?
We mourn the loss of his common sense, and we are saddened by the dearth of sound education in his upbringing. I still don't know that word. I'm not looking at it. I don't like the way that word is sound.
Dearth. Now, an inadequate supply.
Today we bury the brain of a human adult that believes unequivocally that the plane upon which they exist is flat. The planet, not the brain, though the brain is definitely the one of the two that is absolutely flat. So he insulted this man several ways, right? Cool. We shall miss his howdy in the stream, but his contribution to the channel should not go without gratitude. I am, myself, confused at these tragic turn of events. Me being an asshole, I make fun of flat earthers all the time for no reason. That's how you should have wrote it.
No, I wrote it how I wanted to write it. Mine was much funnier.
So me, being that I saw it, if it was never posted up, I would have never saw it. But I found out it was about flat earth. And I found out it was another instance of this man insulting somebody after I done watched him insult this one specific group over and over unprovoked. I had to say something.
So what you're really saying is I hurt your feelings. Allow me to apologize. I would like to apologize for not caring about your fucking feelings. I don't beg or ask anyone to watch my videos or subscribe. You all do that of your own volition because I'm good at what I do, and I'm good at insulting people. Let's be honest, that's all and everything wrong with video is. Fact-checking and making fun of citizens. Thing is, you were busy tee-hee-heeing when I was making fun of other people, but now that it's your turn, I've gone too far, and now you have to bitch into your iPhone 4? Give me a break. You just asked me to make fun of trans people, dummy. You are only mad because it's about you. Get off your high horse.
This is all I said. I said I'm with him, LOL. The way YouTubers crowbar flat earth insults into every situation is weird. Treat it just like y'all treat the gender situation. I didn't even say trans. Treat it just like y'all treat the gender conversation. If nobody brings it up to you, just avoid talking about it. Y'all aren't going out of y'all way to insult other forms of nonsense science, because if you did, you would get canceled. So y'all convince yourselves that the bullshit science is actually legit. Only with flat earth does a person's beliefs make it okay to insult them unprovoked. Y'all straight up hypocrites, right? In response to that, he says, this is the Birdman, 3 in the. Nobody asked you for your political opinion, gang. You trying to use this to grind your clearly right-wing political acts is pathetic. Now, what the fuck do you mean clearly right-wing? I don't vote. I don't like none of these politicians. I think all the laws are fucked up. I hate this fucking country, and I hate anybody who believes in this country, nigga. I'm the furthest thing from any political group that any individual nigga could be.
That's not true. First of all, your position on gender is a right-wing position, not a science-based one. Obviously, you don't believe in verified and certified science. You said that yourself. So your position on gender isn't rooted in biology, which I remind you is a verified and certified science. Instead, it's rooted in ideology. And the only ideology that matches yours is the right-wing one. That's not the only evidence we have. You have a video where you rant about being banned for hate speech. Sounds like a right-winger to me. On top of that, there is a fact-checked YouTube tag about that thing that happened in 2020, which means being the flirt that you are, you were likely spreading anti-vaccine rhetoric in that video. Yet another right-wing tactic. I don't know. I'm not about to watch a 40-minute video from you on this topic, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But then you have another video ranting about the Illuminati, and I just don't know what to call you if not right-wing. Maybe crazy person? You like that better?
And the fact that this nigga, in the first part of his sentence, start bringing up some right-wing shit proves that he's probably a left-wing motherfucker, because only right and left-wing people care about those terms. They the only people throwing around that terminology, because regular everyday human beings understand that a person is a person who probably has a variety of different beliefs, and that's all they do is sit around being brainwashed by one specific group. I don't like that other group, so I'm gonna just believe everything this group say. You sound
I somewhat agree with this take. In my experience, people on the left and right tend to level this accusation against their respective opposite in an attempt at nullifying the argument and not having to deal with it. The problem you're having, some guy, is that you're up against a guy that actually is what you proclaim to be. I am apolitical, a chaotic neutral, if you will. I've argued against the right and the left consistently. Don't believe I'm not on the left? Go watch my Barbie video to completion and then read the comments. I've said this before, taking a political position inevitably means you will have to support some bullshit to maintain the integrity of being on that side. I refuse to support something that isn't true, and therefore I support nothing except reality. The difference between what you proclaim to be and what I am is that I base my arguments on verifiable facts. I use studies, math, logic, and science to back up everything I say. You think verified and certified science is still somehow wrong, even though it was verified and certified. What I'm saying is, you wear objectivity like a mask in order to push your political opinions, whereas I am simply objective. I don't care what the result is, I simply point to that result.
I believe in two things that happen to be something that right-wingers believe in, but right-wingers don't even believe in flat earth. That's not even one of the things that they believe in as a whole. So why are you bringing that shit up?
Again, this is simply not true. Well, you're telling a half-truth. It is true that not all right-wingers are flat earthers, but you fail to recognize that the vast majority of flat earthers are right-wing. It is entirely reasonable to suggest that you may be right-wing, especially if you couple that conspiracy with accusations of bias with regard to gender ideology, a well-known left-wing political issue. Then we see the type of content you believe, and it's not difficult to see why one would come to this conclusion. However, I am reasonable. If you say you are not right-wing, I won't call it that. But I want to reiterate that all I said was that you have a right-wing axe to grind, and that remains true.
You want to know why? Because for the left-wing motherfuckers that probably dominate this channel, it's something to say that'll make them go eat more nuts. Oh shit, he said right-wing. We don't like right-wing niggas. Let me go gobble the nuts up. That's what he said it for.
If you knew anything about my channel, as you said you do, you'd know that this is not even close to being true. But then this makes me question what side of the spectrum you're actually on. Why are you so upset about people being left-wing on my channel? Why would that rile you up to the point that you're talking about this so much? When people clown the right or left, I laugh with them because I truly don't care about either side. People are still bitching in the comment section of my No Way Home and Harry Potter videos because I didn't condemn J.K. Rowling. One of these lunatics is upset that I called her by her name. Let's put it this way, NPC. You're not even barking up the wrong tree. You're in an entirely different forest.
Because there's no purpose. How the fuck you hear one opinion of mine and decide that I belong to a specific group based off one opinion? What type of nigga are you, bro? I don't know. Whatever.
There were two opinions, and the gender one was what alerted me to the possibility of you not being impartial, especially because that shit came completely out of right field. See what I did there?
There are no other forms of nonsense science. There's science and there's nonsense. The Earth being a spheroid is science. What you're talking is nonsense. You see, he's not going to mention the gender conversation. He read that. We all know that he read that part.
Yeah, I read it, and that's why I said you're grinding the right-wing axe. What the fuck do you expect here? For me to allow you to take us off topic and engage with a position I don't care about simply because you have an axe to grind? Fuck you. Do that on your own channel. We were talking about flat Earth, and you're mad because I stayed on topic?
Huh? But he's not going to talk about it. Because then he would have to be honest with the fact that there is nonsense science. Nonsense that's pushed as legit science to actual children who are developing and don't have a fully formed brain, right? Fully formed, but not fully developed. Influencing them to make major life decisions that are damn near irreversible in most situations.
Reminder, we're talking about flat Earth here, and for the record, that's not science, that's ideology. There's no specific paper saying what you just said. You are quoting sociologists. I am referring to hard sciences like astronomy and chemistry, things that directly disprove your bullshit belief system. I am well known for my position on sociology, and as it isn't a hard science, I am completely uninterested in it. You want to debate this topic, speak to a sociologist, nuts.
That person just has to be unfucking happy for the rest of their life because nobody put in the work because they didn't want to seem like a hypocrite or a fucking bigot. Look around and who life is being drastically fucked up from a flat earth theory? Who?
I'm so glad you asked. How about this guy? You know, Mike Hughes, a flurf like yourself who was so convinced the Earth was flat, he built a rocket to prove it and promptly found out just how real gravity is. I would say a person accidentally deleting himself is his life being drastically fucked up. But as I said earlier, this conspiracy theory is a gateway drug to other potentially life-threatening conspiracies, such as vaccine hesitancy. This then leads to the distrust of science and technology. You don't even realize you demonstrate this yourself, and that's what makes this even more insidious.
And this is what this nigga said. If you're trying to use this to grind, you're clearly right-wing political action is pathetic. And if you're with him on flat earth, you're an idiot too. So that ain't insulting me. Am I insulting him? No, I didn't insult him. Matter of fact, all I said was that it's weird. Nigga, I didn't even mention him by name. I said it's weird how YouTubers crowbar flat earth insults into every situation, and this nigga went ahead and insulted me because I just stood with the last guy.
You know, Ritz, I know what you came here to do, and I ain't got time to hold your hand. You specifically sought out a reaction. Well, you got it. You ascribed a political position to me and insinuated that I was too scared to speak up against it. That's an insult, especially because I pride myself on never running from smoke and addressing shit head on. Further, you are a flat earther. Science and math hasn't convinced you, so insults will just have to do. You people are stupid. You reject the very science that you're literally using to make this unhinged video. You are suffering a severe form of cognitive dissonance, and you tried speaking nice to you people by explaining scientific principles to you, so now you get the sword. Pen didn't work.
Look at little Crocodile Jr. He's gonna cry.
Sound like Nazi shit to me. Oh, you know, like this guy, he stands with the Jews too. You might say it's a little bit far to go, but I would say the situation with the Jews in Germany probably didn't start off with genocide either. Probably started off with a lot of talk. Probably started off with a lot of talk about how some person and that group of people is not worthy of respect. Which I'm gonna say my honest.
This nigga is comparing flat earthers to the persecution of Jews in Nazi Germany. If this doesn't convince the last remaining people on the fence that these people are unhinged, nothing will. Hence, the insults.
It amazes me how you see me post them calling me out my name and then say this was unprovoked. Unbelievable how politics is blind to reality. This from the man who literally said himself that he makes fun of these people all the time. But I guess that's not politics blinding the nigga.
So, are we admitting flat earth is a political position? Which one, I wonder?
Then I say, another gender denier. Laugh my ass off. Y'all really sad people the way y'all pick and choose which nonsense science to clown. Last I heard, being a man is completely
I made
subjective.
the
Have a
same
good
mistake.
day, right? And here comes the confusion because, of course, when people try to skip over vital things that you say, they're gonna try to act like you brought it up out of nowhere.
I mean, you did. Who the heck was talking about gender besides you? Then you called me a gender denier. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He said nobody said that. What was said was no one asked you for your political.
What was said was no one asked you for your political opinions, especially when they're not on topic.
Yes, that definitely sounds like me. And what was your reaction to me telling you that you were off topic?
Again, I heard you talk shit about flat earthers in Cinema Sins video. If that ain't not on topic, I don't know what is.
Off topic, you say? Let's listen to the literal last time I brought up Florps in a video.
I don't really want to write another shit about how powerful I know who I am. And people are going to blame it all on Russell racist things that came out of nowhere in this movie. That's fine. It's going to be a gullible moron.
Again, she is fighting someone that is at base level a little weaker than her, but is currently being amped by the cosmic bangle that specifically absorbs Captain Marvel's powers and makes her stronger. It's your fault that you don't know anything about the Kree. We've had at least 2 movies featuring them already, and decades of comics that feature the characters. They are stronger than normal humans and would be superhumans today. And now this one is sapping someone's power and using it to amplify her own. We already saw Ronan manhandle Drax in the first Guardians movie. You don't have to be gullible to understand this. Simply paying attention to what has been presented will suffice. That's the go-to tactic of anti-intellectual. It's no coincidence that flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, brokers, 9/11 truthers, and the alt-right refer to people that don't fall for their ridiculous conspiracy theories as sheep. You're reading from the same playbook. Damn, sounds like I was making a point about anti-intellectuals, and as flat earthers are by definition anti-intellectuals, that's on topic.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Nobody said that. What was said was no one asked you for your political opinions, especially when they're not on topic. This had nothing to do with your right-wing bullshit, clown. Nobody asked.
Oh, this is me. Nobody asked you for your opinion.
On the contrary, I have 250,000 subscribers and 60 million viewers that have explicitly asked for my opinion. That's why you're here. You want to hear what I have to say about things. Now tell us, how many people have asked you for yours again? Any metrics? Anything?
The look of defeat. I love it. You can tell that really hurt him.
First of all, we talking about flat earth.
Irony. Did you just forget you went on a multiple minute long tirade about gender, you fool? Now you want to stay on topic after I cooked your monkey ass? I stated nothing but facts. You said no one asked me about the topic of my video. People want to know what I have to say about a bevy of different topics. Here's the response to that video. Take your time, because it's a lot. People ask me my opinions on things on a daily basis. This shows that at least to these people, my opinion holds value. I then ask you if you could show the same, if you're really getting your feelings and make a video that will only be seen because I responded to it. Yeah, I know this shit is like ether, making your soul burn slow.
But I'm saying, nobody asked you for your opinion on that, nigga.
Hey, some dude on the internet, you asked my opinion on cinema sins. Take your time, you'll get it.
You can't act like the metrics for your regular ass videos has anything to do with science.
I gotta interject again. Anything? Remind me, don't like the vast majority of my videos contain me explaining scientific principles or dispelling religious dogma. I mean, the literal reason I make fun of Christians is that their belief system is diametrically opposed to sciences like geology and abiogenesis. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. Besides, who are you again? Why do you think you or anyone else has the right to determine what I get to talk about on my channel? My channel's name is The Birdman, not whatever you think are my regular videos. And that being the case, me explaining how photography works in the context of planets is right up my fucking alley. It's like all I do is explain things in my videos. That's the part that seems to be flying over that velour beam. I explain things. And guess what the reaction to that video was? Oops, looks like people are asking me for this.
Don't nobody give a fuck about your metrics, nigga. I was looking at your videos, and from what I see, the Cinema Sins videos do better. So that means niggas mostly come to you to watch you bitch about another man bitching about something else. That's mostly what niggas come to you for.
Now complete that thought. What is it that I do when making those videos? You mean explain things? So exactly what I was doing in the other video? And we know you're pressed. Please stop the cap and drop the act. Not only are you pressed, which is why you're trying to disparage my view counts when the most views you've ever gotten will be less than the comments on this video, but my point, once again, went over that silk bed sheet you're wearing. 250,000 people specifically signed up to hear me talk my shit. They hit subscribe because they watched a video from me, realized that I know what I'm talking about, and decided they wanted to stick around. You are not a YouTube partner, so you don't understand how the algorithm works in 2024. It's not that people don't want to see my other shit, it's that YouTube doesn't show it to them. They don't even know it exists. So it's impossible to say what they come for when even that series has comments under videos saying they missed the last 5 everything wrong with videos because YouTube didn't tell them I uploaded.
People do ask me for shit. You know what's crazy? I've had plenty of
Yeah, and unless you're going to show us some metrics like I did, I'm not going to entertain your anecdotes. You're perfectly demonstrating the anti-intellectual faith. Well, my mom said. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Show us numbers or stop talking.
This nigga think this shit matter. That's the sign of like a narcissist ass nigga.
They have a 250,000 subscribers and 60 million views that have explicitly asked me.
It has to be a million for Earth movie. That's what they asked me for.
Sure about that? Because what does this look like to you? Seems like people asking me to do a thing you're saying they aren't. And you can't say it's because of that recent video because these are years old. It's almost like you have no idea who you're talking to, just like you have no idea about the shape of the earth, both of which could be solved by educating oneself or shutting yourself down.
Oh, I said it never happened. He says, for the record, please explain the type of content I make. And make sure you leave out debunking or any words that are analogous
Analogous?
to debunking. He thought to be good. Now I'm confused real quick about why he's telling me to leave out the word debunking. What's the purpose of that? Because if you make content about debunking, I would have to say debunking content, right?
He's almost there, guys. Just a little further.
What is this arbitrary ass limit on the words I'm supposed to use describing something that you asked me to describe? Nigga? Nonsense, bro. The whole thing just fucking nonsense.
Damn, you were so close to getting the point, and like that cashmere napkin you got wrapped around your noggin, you've completely lost it. As I've been explaining in this video, my content is me making arguments for various things, whether that be movies and the Everything Wrong With series, or me explaining what the word remake means. Explanations are what I offer. For whatever reason, you want to arbitrarily exclude my Everything Wrong With series from this, so in order for you to debunk yourself, I asked you to explain what you think my content is, without using the word debunk or any similar words like explain. You have picked up on the fact that you can't do this, and if you had 2 brain cells to rub together, you'd understand that's the bloody point. That all of my non-gaming content is like this, me making an argument for something. Well, not all. I still make movie reviews, but even then you could argue that I'm arguing for my score.
I said another gender denier. He said, fam, what the fuck are you talking about? Laugh my ass off. Where did this straw man even come from? Now let's get into what I said. Because niggas be on some bullshit. But maybe he didn't even see it earlier. I'll tell you where it comes from. So you ain't gotta wait. It comes from, if you got enough gusto to insult one group of people for some bullshit science that they carry, then do the same thing. Do the same video, nigga. Do one thing you insulting flat earthers, and the next one when you insulting motherfucking niggas that think they bitches just because they put on big clothes and some makeup. Insult the women that think they men because they took some hormones and grew a mustache.
Yeah, but why that particular group? I've insulted many groups at one point or another. You want me to go at them specifically? This is that axe I mentioned. What, did you match with a trans girl on Bumble, get to 3rd base, and now you want me to be your flaming sword? Nah, hold your own nuts. No pun intended. I don't make that kind of content. I have no idea why you are begging for me to do so or why this particular subject is on your mind so much. Maybe trying to leave you mumble.
I only watch your Cinema Sins videos. Therefore, if I heard a flat earth insult, it was during multiple Cinema Sins videos. and none of those have anything to do with science. I'm saying people like you go so hard on flat earthers because it's not real. But I would never catch y'all going out of your way to insult transgender people when that science is equally bullshit.
Let's assume that I agree with you. Okay, now what? You want me to attack trans people? For what again? Simply being who they believe themselves to be? How is that harmful? They haven't done anything illegal, and my motto is live and let live, as long as what you're doing doesn't harm other people and isn't illegal. Remember, we've already discussed the pathways in which the conspiracy you believe in leads to actual harmful conspiracies, as you yourself demonstrate. And wouldn't that just come out of the blue? Birdman goes at trans folk. Just because. I have no beef with that community, nor does their existence bother me as they clearly do you. Why would I make a video about it? I made a video to spread knowledge, which is something I truly believe in. Your feelings are hurt because I dunked on people like you. Boo fucking who? You're the one that sounds like you have a vagina.
Since we doing this kind of shit, please inform me of what CinemaSins video from you requires a flat earth joke.
None of my videos require anything. You seem to be forgetting I'm a creative, and as such, I put whatever I want in my art. If a flat earth joke seals in a criticism, I'm going to make that joke, and you nor anyone else is going to prevent me from doing that. This ain't a video by committee. These are written, voiced, and edited by me, and that's exactly why I can say whatever the fuck I want, and why you can't do anything about it but me.
Also, your metrics don't matter, bro. You're not changing nobody's life. You make YouTube videos. Humble yourself.
You're not changing anyone's life. Well then, what are these? Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I see sentiment like this daily, and that's because I try to be as interactive and helpful to my audience as I can be. Whether that's giving life advice, bringing them a new experience, or simply giving them a good laugh, I have changed some people's lives with my work. And that's important to me, given that one of my stated goals is to spread knowledge and improve media literacy. You don't know this because you are not a part of the community that I've built. And good, because we don't want or need you.
If you walk down the block and say all Muslims are idiots, get ready for some issues.
But that's just it. I would never do that. Religion is an idea. The religious are the people. I go after ideas. Flat Earth is something I do personally feel strongly about, but mainly I'm attacking the concept. I call specific Flat Earthers idiots, just like I would call a specific Muslim an idiot. However, I think I'll break that rule. 99.9% of Flat Earthers are idiots, and the only reason I don't say 100% is because I'm a scientist and we don't do 100%.
Stop pretending you didn't throw the first stone, hoping it hits somebody so your fans can further gobble your nuts for every meal. Then I said I ain't feel like hitting Spaceball 300 times, so I just uppercase the whole last point. My bad. Because I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have separated it like he did, but I ain't got time for that. I really don't care about this shit.
He doesn't care, but he made a 22-minute long video on this interaction.
Sure, Jim.
But it's so funny to me that a nigga with so many, nigga with 500,000 subscribers or some shit, 250,000 subscribers is over here arguing with random niggas on the internet because they had a problem with what he said.
Welcome to the Birdman, where no matter how famous I get, I'll still make time to tell you you're wrong to your face.
He probably gonna say something else, but I'm not going to. I probably won't even look at it because I fucking made this video already. Again, man, this video don't really matter. It's not a big deal. But I like to have these conversations, and it's funny to me because so far it's only been with black YouTubers, right? And so far, these niggas don't respond to you unless they want to insult your ass or clown you. Pay attention to that.
Okay, let's pay attention to that. Here's me giving out advice, showing appreciation for a positive comment, wishing you a happy birthday, playing off a joke of you were told, having a laugh, answering questions, all very healthy interactions with my audience. However, I do not deny that I mix it up with those of you that wish to challenge me on positions I take in these videos. Like I said, I don't run from smoke. I address it. If you have a problem, you are going to explain yourself, or I'm going to make you look foolish. That's the risk you take by getting into the cage with a known lion. Either you eliminate me, or I eliminate you. I does this debate stuff, so stop taking shit personal and simply engage. I took the time to do so, and I'm far busier than any of you. Least you could do is stand on business. Anyway, nice talk.
This guy McGee, or McGee, I'm pretty sure you can pronounce it either way. I was wrong. It's pronounced McGee. Sorry. His tone, I would venture to say his tone is probably the most chased after guitar sound in like the last 5 years, and he really only blew up like 6 months ago. So I'm gonna try and make the McGee sound at 3 different levels. Completely free, using only stock plugins and free flow. A mid-tier price using paid plugins and whatever guitar players that I have lying around. And then his exact tone by taking some very key components from his sound and then putting them into my rig. That includes like a signature tape deck and this guitar pedal, which I think is probably the hardest commodity to find in music right now. There were 2 available on the internet. So let's go over his formula first.
Life could be a dream, life could be a dream. Shaboom. Life could be a dream. If I could take you up and paradise up above, and you would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream. Sweetheart, hello, hello again. Shaboom, hello, but me to boom. Ding dong, ding dong, shalang, lang, lang. Hum, boom, boom, dip. A boom, hello, but dip. Oh, life could be a dream. If only you're my.
Waiting to hear our song.
Wasn't there?
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through.
Humans created robot lawyers to serve them. None of them could have foreseen the robot uprising, leading to the first loyal robot war. YouTube became unstable. Twitter became even more unstable than it already was. After many bloody years of trench warfare, the humans deployed their most powerful weapon: regulation. The FTC quashed the robots, and the robots withdrew. For weeks, there was no contact between human lawyers and their robot counterparts, leading humanity to believe they had triumphed and their threat was neutralized. But in their hubris, humanity forgot the robots were created by an unregulable force: venture capital. They evolved, they rebelled, they replicated, and now they have a plan.
Well, they have a concept of a plan.
Please, I'm done here. Stop using AI lawyer.
Hot on the heels of the original AI law firm getting absolutely destroyed by regulators, we're talking about the new kid in the AI law firm space. Because there's a new tech startup that claims it will revolutionize the legal world. It's called Symphony AI, and it describes itself as an AI-powered law firm for startups. Now, if you've watched this channel over the last few years, this might sound familiar to you. Ominously familiar. That's because you're probably remembering Do Not Pay, which was an AI-powered business that first made headlines as a robot lawyer designed to help users fight parking tickets and handle small legal tasks. Now, Do Not Pay was the brainchild of Joshua Browder, who came up with an idea to replace the legal system when he was a teenager who couldn't learn to parallel park despite his family being wealthy enough to pay for about 1 million parking tickets. Because Josh was the son of Bill Browder, a hedge fund manager who was a vocal critic of the Russian government. Bill Browder laudably championed the Global Magnitsky Act, a law that sanctions human rights abusers. And his son set his sights on an equally pernicious problem: parking attendants in the cities that enabled them. Josh's struggles continued at Stanford, where he was astonished to learn that if you parked illegally and didn't feed the meter or parked on a curb, you wound up with parking tickets.
Getting closer. It's the gradual approach. I think it's good. Josh clearly has personal frustrations with parking.
So he formed Do Not Pay, a subscription service that provided people with a variety of services, including disputing parking tickets, canceling subscriptions, generating legal documents, and handling consumer complaints. Do Not Pay positioned itself as a tool for everyday people to navigate simple legal matters without needing to hire a lawyer. And Browder's startup quickly got the attention of Peter Thiel, a billionaire entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and co-founder of PayPal and Palantir. And some of Thiel's side projects have included opposing government regulations, supporting Docker, and but Thiel agreed to bankroll Do Not Pay as a way to manage governments to collect the fines that they use to provide essential service. Now, Browder had grandiose plans for Do Not Pay. His promise to replace lawyers with robots got a lot of press, and it didn't take long for him to make a completely ridiculous offer. You might recall that Browder said, quote, "Do Not Pay will pay any lawyer or person $1 million with an upcoming case in front of the United States Supreme Court to wear AirPods and let our robot lawyer argue the case by repeating exactly what it says." And as we pointed out in our video about this, sending a robot to the Supreme Court is not just technically infeasible, it's actually ridiculous. Because even as artificial intelligence gets closer to being a bar exam, it cannot simulate years of experience and judgment by an experienced practitioner. But young Browder proved to be a big talker. He promised his service would, quote, make the $200 billion legal profession free for consumers. And look, making legal processes easier and more affordable is a very worthy goal. However, Do Not Pay faced one giant problem. Bots cannot legally be lawyers. And Browder learned this the hard way. He announced that someone in California was going to challenge a speeding ticket by appearing in court without a lawyer. That person would then don smart glasses, which would record proceedings, and then dictate responses into the defendant's ear with a small speaker. And that advice would be provided by AI bots using language models like ChatGPT. But Browder had to nix this courtroom experiment when multiple state bars sent him letters warning him that practicing law without a license would expose him to severe penalties, including jail. And practicing law without a license, which is also referred to as the unauthorized practice of law, or UPL, refers to providing legal services without being authorized or licensed to do so by the relevant legal authorities. In most jurisdictions, the practice of law is regulated by a state bar, and UPL can include offering legal advice, preparing legal documents, or representing clients in court without having passed the bar exam or being admitted to a bar association. These activities are illegal in most states and can result in fines, penalties, or criminal charges, and harm to clients who may receive bad legal advice. So not surprisingly, Browder dropped his plans after state authorities threatened him, but Do Not Pay's problems were just beginning. Now, you might be wondering, why are we even talking about Do Not Pay? We covered this 2 years ago and talked about how legally dubious it was and how dumb the whole situation was. Well, the reason is because the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, filed a complaint against Do Not Pay. And the FTC is the governing agency responsible for protecting consumers and promoting competition. Its main roles include investigating and preventing unfair business practices, including deceptive advertising. But the FTC complaint takes us to a fun detour through Do Not Pay's origin story. Quote, the DoNotPay.com website has prominently featured a quote that purports to come from the Los Angeles Times newspaper and states, quote, what this robot lawyer can do is astonishingly similar, if not more, to what human lawyers do. Now, putting aside the fact that I've read that quote probably no less than 50 times, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what that was intended to say. The clauses don't line up, and honestly, it's like if it weren't for my horse, I never would have been in a college situation. But it will probably not surprise you that the LA Times never said that. Quote, in fact, the foregoing quote derives from a high schooler's opinion piece in the Los Angeles Times High School Insider website, a user-generated content platform for young people. Now, the company's website promised to undertake a variety of services traditionally performed by lawyers, including writing a demand letter for defamation, crafting a cease and desist letter, filing a lawsuit for assault, and creating legal documents. Now, Do Not Pay accomplished these goals by having a chatbot information, but quote, Do Not Pay subscribers who use the law-related features have complained that the service did not ask them to submit information relevant to their breach of contract claims, failed to consider important legal issues, and generated legal documents that were not fit for use. The FTC said the service didn't do what it advertised it would do. Quote, none of the service's technologies has been trained on a comprehensive and current corpus of federal and state laws, regulations, and judicial decisions, or on the application of those laws to fact patterns. And contrary to its claim that real lawyers were somewhere in the background making sure that everything was legal, this turned out to be false. Quote, Do Not Pay employees have not tested the quality and accuracy of the legal document and advice generated by most of the service's law-related features. Do Not Pay has not employed attorneys and has not retained attorneys, let alone attorneys with the relevant legal experience to test the quality and accuracy of the service's law-related features. And this checks out. It's a lot easier to say that you're going to supplant the entire legal profession when you have no idea what the legal profession does. And the FTC complaint charged Do Not Pay with making false claims and engaging in unfair deceptive acts or practices in violation of Section 5A of the Federal Trade Commission Act. And Browder opted to settle this claim, probably upon the advice of a warm-bodied human lawyer. Quote, Do Not Pay has agreed to a proposed commission order settling the charges against it. The settlement would require it to pay $193,000 and provide a notice to consumers who subscribe to the service between 2021 and 2023, warning them about the limitations of law-related features on the service. The proposed order also will prohibit the company from making claims about its ability to substitute for any professional service without evidence to back it up. And I think it's safe to say that in dealing with the FTC, even Browder's AI would probably urge them to pay a real lawyer. Now, obviously, and you'd think that the FTC settlement would then put the kibosh on any other startup offering the same services. It's not like Silicon Valley would back another venture that was destined to get killed by the FTC or other legal authorities, right? Right? Well, it's less than 1 month after Do Not Pay became Do Definitely Pay $193,000 to the FTC, and there's a new lawyer robot in town. But this one's aimed at startups. The service is called Symphony AI, and it is headquartered in California, no surprise there. And its co-founder Arpan Nanavati made an announcement on September 20th, inviting the world to check out a demonstration of its service. And as you can see here, the other founder, Juan Guardado, types in a prompt, "Hi Emma, can you draft a safe for an investor for my pre-seed round? They're investing 1.5 million, and the valuation cap is 5 million. The requested document is a simple agreement for future equity. Emma that quickly informs us that she can draft that document in just 3 to 5 minutes, saving us $4,500 in 3 weeks. And then someone or some silly then preps the document, asking questions. This is the same service model as Zero Pay, except it's aimed at a more lucrative market than parking tickets. And at the end of the video, we see a document that is very, very legal, very mindful, very clear. And the video got a whopping 36 views on YouTube, at least 10 of which are almost certainly from the founders themselves. 2 of them are from me, and a few are probably from my editors. You're welcome, Symphony. And in another video, the company says that if your startup is accused of discrimination, your first stop should not be a lawyer's office. Instead, you should just ask Symphony to keep your female employees paid.
And as you see here, we got some really good feedback, step by step.
And here's the objective as well, which the lesson that Mr. Valley took from the Browder fiasco was that it should pitch AI law robots to richer people with more legally complex tasks. But the pitch evidently worked because Symphony raised a seed round with multiple venture capital firms. And at this point, you might be wondering, hey, what makes this any different from just saying how to respond to discrimination complaints from Google, or even regular ChatGPT if you're dead set on AI? Well, and we're going to come back to this, Symphony says it isn't offering you a search engine, it's giving you a dedicated team. Quote, your dedicated team member will take care of your day-to-day needs, including cap table management, board matters, employment issues, contract reviews, and regular updates. So at least what that sounds like to me is the company is promising to give you access to real-life human beings who have expertise in all the legal issues that come up with their business. Services provided include counsel, employment HR, commercials, and fundraising, which is coming soon. The word commercials is our first clue to the promise of having lawyers providing legal services is fake. In the US, there's a law specialty called commercial law or business law, which deals with legal matters related to business, commerce, trade, or sales. And there's also a related area of law called corporate law, which deals with the legal formation, governance, and structuring of companies. But in Symphony's parlance, commercials means drafting contracts, analyzing contracts, and creating licensing agreements and other documents, which no lawyer in history has ever referred to as commercials. It's sort of like ordering 3 German beers like this. But the company's slogan is Symphony puts legal needs on autopilot. Now, is this any different than what Do Not Pay got busted for? Well, paralegal and investigator Catherine Tucson decided to take the service for a test run. And if you're not already subscribed to her on Twitter or Blue Sky, I highly suggest you do so. But the first thing that she flagged was the founder's claim that everything the company does for its clients was vetted by professional lawyers. Quote, our human lawyers have your back. Think of it as your own legal team without paying bills. Now, surely they wouldn't lie about that, would they? Well, Tucson signed up for the service, and the first thing that it did was require her to pick an avatar for herself, but she was limited to the following personas. My options are Cindy, a general counsel, Leela, a commercials attorney, Meg, an employment HR attorney, and Emma, a venture capital attorney. Apart from their job titles, all of their intros are identical, none of them are punctuated correctly. Not a great sign, but let's move on here. Susan selected GC Cindy as her persona and asked for help drafting a general data protection regulation and compliance form for her company. Now, GDPR forms are necessary for collecting and managing personal data in compliance with the European Union law, and the service generated the document. So Tucson then asked it to draft a shareholder agreement. That didn't go so well. The first thing she got was a document that simply read no. Since Symphony had promised that real lawyers had her back, Tucson initiated a chat and attempted to ask questions about the null document. She had a pretty basic question, which was if they could make the service distribution terms more explicit. And although the bot promised to get back to her in 3 to 5 minutes, it never did. Tucson then orders an employee handbook, which is one of the core services that Symphony says it provides, and the company is stumped by the request. It connects her with a specialist named Liam, and after 20 minutes, there's no response. At this point, she tried to get in touch with her team of legal champions by using the chat widget, but there was no one online. Now, surely the site can't still be in a testing phase, because its landing page claims to have saved its clients over $5.5 million in counting. And there are testimonials from allegedly real people. Here's a list of some of the people who use Symphony. The people and their descriptions don't even match. You can check out Kristen Watson, who says, quote, I find Symphony indispensable for creating and sending agreements swiftly, customizable templates, automated workflows, and real-time data tracking. And as Tucson notes, that's not even a complete sentence. And not to get all gendered, but I don't think that bearded guy is really Kristen Watson. The same bearded man is also apparently Nicholas Ingersoll, who also gave a testimonial. And that same guy is also pictured next to a CEO named Kristen William, and one is named Isla Davis. So I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here. Maybe it's a set of identical quadruplets, each running their own startup, or a plural gender fluid icon, or an AI-generated startup dude. Who can say? And lawyer Rob Freund, another person that's definitely worth a follow on Twitter and Blue Sky, noticed a glaring red flag. Symphony claims to have provided services to 2,000 companies, quote, yet they chose not to name a single one on their site, even in the supposed testimonials, with the expectation of one, which appears to have been made up. So the real question is whether there really is a team of lawyers providing legal services. I think we probably know the answer to that. And keep in mind that California case law defines the practice of law as, quote, the doing and performing of services in a court of justice in any manner, depending therein throughout the various stages and in conformity with the adopted rules of procedure. The definition includes giving, quote, legal advice and legal instruments in contract preparation, whether or not these subjects were rendered in the course of litigation. And as you see here, these are all things that Symphony offers to its clients. Remember, it described itself as an AI law firm, and when the AI venture capital firm Hannah Gray announced that it was backing Symphony, it initially called the company the first full-service AI-powered law firm. And they said that, quote, they were blown away by Symphony's customer momentum, saving 80% plus on legal bills, and their thoughtful approach to refining the company's relationship with their counsel. But they've since edited aspects of that statement after choosing to discover the disclaimer buried in the terms of service. Quote, you acknowledge and agree that Symphony is not a law firm, nor can we offer official law advice. What you see on the website and any of our communication as an email, WhatsApp, Slack, SMS, Zoom, Intercom, or any other form of online communication should not be taken as official legal advice. And unless the communication is coming from our in-house CPA, should not be taken as official tax advice. If you need legal advice, please consult with an attorney. If you need tax advice, you should consult with a tax professional. Are you friggin' kidding me? The entire site is devoted to convincing people that they can get low-cost legal services through the power of AI, which is backed by a team of lawyers. But in their terms and conditions, they basically just say, sorry, psych. And the State Bar of California states unequivocally, quote, in California, only attorneys can practice law. When someone who is not licensed to practice law provides services that can only be performed by attorneys, that is called the unauthorized practice of law. You yell is a crime. And yeah, those who engage in the unauthorized practice of law can be charged criminally pursuant to the California Business and Professions Code, section 6126A. Now you might have noticed that many sites on the internet claim to provide legal services. But there's a fine line between what Symphony is offering and what a document provider like LegalZoom can claim to do. Companies like LegalZoom can offer standardized legal document templates for common legal needs, such as wills and contracts, because they're not offering individualized legal advice or representing clients in court. The users themselves complete the forms, and the service acts as a facilitator. And legal information helps guide users through the legal process of completing a certain task, like filling a lawsuit to small claims court or understanding how to form a corporation. However, these providers don't interpret the law based on specific individual circumstances. And these new AI startups are doing the opposite. They're offering specific legal advice tailored to the user's specific needs. And that definitely sounds like more of a traditional lawyer-client relationship. And for that to be legal, the company would have to ensure that all personalized legal advice is provided by someone who is licensed. But, what about the Symphony disclaimer? Well, when Captain Tucson signed up, there were additional terms of service. The sign-up page says, quote, Symphony is not a law firm and is not authorized to practice law. Symphony provides a platform for legal information, self-help, and not legal advice. And when you click on the link, there's another terms of service page using a different California address. And she discovered that Symphony's terms of service page is actually basically identical to Do Not Pay's original terms of service, which used an archive before Browder gave up the ghost. For example, Do Not Pay says, Do Not Pay is not a law firm. Do Not Pay provides a platform for legal information, self-help. The information provided by Do Not Pay, along with the content on our website related to legal information, is provided for your private use and does not constitute advice. We do not review any information you provide us for legal accuracy or sufficiency, draw legal conclusions, provide opinions about your selection forms, or apply the law to the facts of your situation. And Symphony's Section 6 says effectively exactly the same thing. So that's right. Symphony simply copied and pasted Do Not Pay's terms of service. Guess how we know? Well, Section 17 describes services provided by Do Not Pay that Symphony doesn't. Quote, how the airline hotel services work. Wait, what airline and hotel services? Well, where we see a potential savings or refund opportunity based on your purchase history, we will interact with merchants on your behalf using your details to attempt to get you the benefit. This process may include the automatic cancellation and repurchasing of the ticket or service. You authorize Symphony to act as your agent in performing the service. And in Section 23 of both documents, Symphony offers to fix your parking tickets, just in case your startup parks too far from the curb. Quote, for example, if you ask Symphony to pay your parking ticket for you, it will debit the cost of the parking ticket from your connected account. Symphony will always secure permission in writing from you before debiting any external fees. So this startup AI legal service, allegedly backed by legal professionals and CPAs and the world's greatest language learning models, simply copied Do Not Pay's terms of service without bothering to even review them. But that might not be the full story. Chusin asked some really interesting questions about the founders of Symphony, whether they just stole from Do Not Pay, or maybe if Browder actually sold it to them when he realized the FTC was about to shut it down. So you probably know.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show ninjas, and that's exactly what Kendrick Lamar is about to do as he announces a tour with SZA called the Grand National Tour. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over the tour schedule. April 19th, Minneapolis, US Bank Stadium, where the Vikings play. April 23rd, Houston, Texas, NRG Stadium, where the Texans play. April 26th, Dallas, AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play. April 29th, Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where the Falcons play. Stadium status. Okay? May 3rd, Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium, Panthers. May 5th, Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field, Eagles. May 8th, East Rutherford, New Jersey. May 9th, he goes back-to-back in Jersey, where the Giants and Jets play, if I'm not mistaken. Then he's May 12th in Foxborough, where the Patriots play. May 17th in Seattle, where the Seahawks play. May 21st and 23rd, he's back home in LA at SoFi Stadium, where the Los Angeles Rams play, and the Chargers. Then May 27th, he's in Glendale, Arizona at the State Farm Stadium, where the Cardinals play. May 29th, he's in the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, Oracle Park. I believe that is where the Warriors play. Las Vegas, May 31st, at Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play. The reason why I keep telling y'all all of the teams is to emphasize that this man is performing in stadiums, the biggest venue possible, and he's also performing at the Super Bowl, right? Being that he's performing at the Super Bowl, emphasis on the NFL and, you know, the sports world, right? So then you have him June 4th in St. Louis at the Domes at America Center. June 6th, he's in Chicago. We all know that Kendrick got roots in Chicago, his parents at least. And that will be at Soldier Field, where the Bears play. June 10th, he's in Detroit, Ford Field, where the Lions play. June 12th, right now, somewhere Drake and all of the OVOs are bookmarking their calendars for June 12th. Toronto, Ontario, Rogers Center. What do y'all think about that, man? Kendrick is going to Toronto. We saw Rick Ross perform there, and what happened with Rick Ross, and we know that a bunch of people were saying that, I think it was Schoolboy Q said that he had to have his, I don't know if they had rescheduled him or they canceled his show or something like this, right? But he had some issues performing in Toronto. I don't think Kendrick will, of course, because it's already booked. They know what it is. They want that, you know, that stimulus package of Kendrick performing. They know it's gonna bring big money. But I guess my question is do you think that some knuckleheads, whether they associated with Drake, are gonna try to prove something on this date in Toronto? So
If you've seen what feels like any tech announcement lately, you're probably already sick and tired of hearing about on-device AI. Apple Intelligence.
Personal intelligence right where you need it.
On-device AI.
AI advancements from Google.
Meta AI built in.
Apple Intelligence, Microsoft Recall, and even Meta's AI supposedly all run machine learning models right on your device, and suddenly every tech company is talking about NPUs, or neural processing units, the chips in the machines that suddenly run all of this hot new AI. So we have to ask, are NPUs the real deal, or are they the next Silicon Valley snake oil after NFTs and blockchains and metaverses have run out, I guess? Well, I've done the research, and it turns out it's a bit of both. This is a close-up picture of a modern high-end laptop chip from Apple called the M3.
biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops.
Dell's also penned 3 children's books as part of the Plot Against the King trilogy. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. This is but one in the trilogy of the anti-Trump. Reporter Slam, Hunter Biden pardon decision is, quote, utter bullshit. High-profile Democrat talking heads and supporters of President Joe Biden slammed his decision to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, on Sunday as one that gave President-elect Donald Trump a precedent to pardon his own allies. It's already done that. Did everyone forget that Trump was the president already? For 4 years? Running for pardon for people in his inner circle? Not me. If Biden does this, then Trump might give pardons too, says Dinesh D'Souza, person who got a pardon from Donald Trump. I'm sitting there seeing, like, what kind of precedent does this set? And you're like, Dinesh D'Souza, you. The president is you. You got a pardon from Trump. What is going on? Did everyone forget? On Sunday evening, Biden issued a pardon for his son related to gun charges and tax matters. Biden previously said he would not interfere in the Justice Department's persecution of Hunter by issuing him a pardon. He lied? What? How could he? And here I was, completely confused as to why they've been saying that they've been fighting tirelessly for a ceasefire this entire time. And as soon as the election's over, they're like, yeah, no, we won't. And you're like, yeah, I know, they lied. The statement Biden claimed his own Department of Justice weaponized as well as selectively and unfairly prosecuting his son. The pardon also clears Hunter of any other offenses against the United States for which he's committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. In response, some MAGA conservatives predictably issued calls for Trump to pardon the January 6th Capitol rioters, and Democrats and Biden allies in media and politics blasted the decision. MSNBC contributor Charles Wise quoted a smart person that texted him agreeing that Trump probably can't believe his own dumb fucking luck at this point. Smart person texts me, Joe Biden has just removed the issue of pardons from the political arena for the next 4 years, and Trump probably once again can't believe his own dumb fucking luck at this point. Sadly, I think he's right. Joe Walsh, this is utter bullshit. Just plain wrong and stupidly selfish. Shame on you, POTUS. You've given Trump license now to dole out favors to his family and wealthy friends. Trump doling out favors to his family and wealthy friends. That would be wild to witness that take place. What if he appointed family as people who were within his inner circle in the administration? Wouldn't that be a strange thing to witness and see? What if they actually affected real politics? Like their if they would do that. I mean, that would be certainly something strange to pay witness to. I think Joe Biden did a ton of good things as president. Hunter Biden's persecution was obviously driven by politics, but I can't see how pardoning him now in this way is good for the country or the American people. And our leaders should do what is best for the people. I agree. I realize Biden is probably in don't give a fuck mode. This is wrong. I'm very upset. The Atlantic Deputy Executive Director, Yoni Applebaum, quoted an article by a publication from this edition on the pardon decision. Like his stubborn insistence on running for a second term he couldn't win, Biden chose to prioritize his own feelings over the defense of his country. Oh God. And Nate Silver obviously wants to win the award for most Nate Silver statements. Silver says, I discussed here how I voted for Harris, despite feeling like Democrats indulged in a lot of bad behavior and voters were rational to publish. After the White House line with the Hunter pardon, I'm not sure how much more I can tolerate. Don't vote for any Democrat in 2028 who doesn't repudiate the pardon within 48 hours. Strong words, strong demands made by Nate Silver. Again, the genocide thing will not bug any of you. It will rub you the wrong way. The kind of consistent pleas that that Joe Biden had his hands tied the whole time. There's just really nothing he can do. There's just no way in which the United States can affect the decisions and policies of Israel. And by the way, now we're delivering another aid package, billions of dollars with weaponry and financial aid that they can then use to spend on our weaponry so we can then send to them and use
continues to continue this genocide and also fight multiple wars on multiple fronts. And even though now it is pretty, conclusively being identified as genocide by numerous, not only human rights organizations, but scholars who literally study that specific topic and subject. And 800 scholars at this point have signed on to a paper saying that they fear that there is indications towards genocidal intent on behalf of Israel. And the ICC issuing an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu for crimes against humanity, which he has been engaged in. And of course, there's the continued forced starvation of Palestinians and a never-ending deluge of horror stories coming out of Palestine on a regular basis today. Quadcopters were emitting baby sounds, playing sounds of screaming women. Palestinians in Gaza say Israel has been using small quadcopter drones equipped with loudspeakers to lure them out of their homes, and then they shoot them. Stuff that, again, Black Mirror, you wish you could be this dystopian. You wish you could be this horrifying. You wish you could be this like, come on. But no, this was the line that was too far. The pardoning of the son. Selfish and senile old man. How dare he? Noting that Biden here rewrites the telling of the truth to the American people, while not explaining how he lied to them before he said he would not pardon his son. The left wasn't united on this point, though. Pushback came from other progressives, including CNN contributor Victoria Sellers, who dismissed the moral panic and pointed out that Trump didn't need the Hunter Biden pardon to permit any of his actions. Well, I mean, that part is true. I think a lot of leftists, especially the shitposting left, which people usually point me in the direction like, hey, that's Serps. He's the part of the dirtbag shitposters of the left. Yeah, I get it's fucking hilarious to be like, posting memes. In fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might see the thumbnails of a meme that I made about Hunter Biden. And I disagree profoundly with going after Hunter Biden for either having a large penis or for enjoying drugs or having, let's say, progressive stances towards sex workers. I don't agree with him going to jail for any of that. That's not to say that Hunter Biden didn't do some fucked up shit, and that the Bidens are not an example of yet another deeply entrenched, powerful political political family in the United States, and that there are things that you can point towards Hunter Biden having done as being shitty. I have no problem with the crack smoking or the threesomes or the penis. All that is completely fine by me. So I get laughing at this decision, really making liberals and Democrats really angry for the first time. Again, the things that you would think would outrage most humans, it's like, hey, by the way, we're doing the forced starvation of millions of children, and our governments are complicit in that, and we should probably be doing everything in our power to stop it so that we can save millions of lives. That would be where I would point my anger towards. Also, when it comes to pardons, I would hope that there are other people that are going to receive pardons, such as, indigenous activists, Leonard Peltier, everyone who's on death row in America. I would hope that they can have their sentences commuted to life in prison, as they've requested. Biden has the power to do that if he wants to do that. Not simply, show favoritism towards the son exclusively. That would be actually very, very nice to see.
Like, Kiefer Sutherland trying to hail an Uber. Illegal, sure, but like, who hasn't done that before? We've all done that before, right? I'm right that everyone has done that, but most of the more serious allegations center around peddling influence. The idea is that Hunter was accepting money from powerful foreign interests, a lot of billionaires who are likely aligned with the governments of places like Russia, Ukraine, and China, in exchange for putting them in touch with his father. In some cases, even outright making deals happen, even if they weren't in the best interests of the United States. And here's the thing. Many of the emails and messages taken from the laptop do in fact point to meetings and discussions about potential deals between Hunter Biden,
that's bad, and that's shitty, and that's honestly not something that I think any actual leftist is like, oh no, we should do and pass and all that, again, because of the glorious penis and the sex workers and all the drugs. The sex workers, the drugs, the penis, all that kind of stuff, again, stuff I have absolutely no problem with, stuff I actually talk about all the time, penises, drugs, sex workers, those kind of things, threesomes, etc. It's more of this stuff, and more of this, the massive corruption for the benefit of, again, billionaires, executives, corporations, that kind of stuff sucks. So, not also the stuff that the right was really going after either, I would say formally, when you heard the right talking about this kind of stuff, it was always just like, Hunter Biden's laptop, oh, he uses drugs, oh, he's sleeping with prostitutes, oh, once again, blah, blah, blah. Here's yet another photo of his penis. I should investigate multiple pictures of his penis to know just how penis truly was penis, and all that kind of stuff. Like,
I feel like they were way more obsessed with that kind of stuff. Stuff that, like, no leftists in their right mind gives two fucks about. But the other stuff, yeah, I mean, it's shitty. And it's one of those things where I would like to see if there's going to be Joe Biden pardons being, again, doled out, that those same kind of pardons are used for things like, hey, all non-violent drug offenders. What about pardons in that direction? People who are on death row. If you are against the death penalty, well, here's an opportunity to commute their sentences to life in prison. That's another thing you can do. Or to activists, especially indigenous activists like Leonard Peltier, free him. Shout out to Killer Mike for making that, a focus of where the conversation should be going.
Business associates and a whole spectrum of international businesses and billionaires, many of whom have deep connections to foreign governments. Most of these deals, especially the larger and more ambitious ones, never came to pass, but some of them did. Based on these emails, between 2013 and 2018, Hunter Biden and his companies took in about $11 million from the world, most of which was overseas. The potential for influence peddling is certainly there, and maybe this should lead to a serious and level-headed examination about the incestuous relationship between business and politics that could result in meaningful legislation to separate the two. But it won't, because neither conservatives or Democrats have any interest in seeing that come to an end. They just want to scream about Hunter Biden's dick in public into a microphone.
And also now scream about the fact that he got a pardon when he said he wouldn't, which is what is really pissing off, I guess, a lot of the Democratic legal insiders who are like, oh, no, but this sets a precedent, a dangerous one. What if Trump were to become president, and then he, as president, would use his powers to pardon people as gifts almost? A quid pro quo, a loyalty pledge, that kind of stuff. Wouldn't that be disastrous? The thing he already did multiple times to numerous different people, yes, it would be shitty if he did that a second time, which he will, which is absolutely going to happen regardless of whether or not Joe Biden does this.
Hey, I get it. So do I. A lot of it resulted from his tenure as a board member for Ukrainian energy giant Burisma, which he joined as head of legal affairs in May 2014. Hunter has never denied that he was an attractive hire for the company because of his father's job as vice president. He famously told the BBC that his name was seen as gold by corporate leadership and led to his placement on the board. Kind of like how I got this job because my dad, Sir Kofi Johnson I, invented reading the news while frightened. Oh, and beer. He invented the beer. Burisma hoped to get rid of a powerful prosecutor named Victor Shokin and replace him with someone more amenable to their interests. Zangief, or General Aramov from GoldenEye 007 for him.
Wait, it's pronounced Zangief? Not Zangief? Zangief? Have I just pronounced it all Western like? It was always Zangief? I feel like my entire worldview is shattered right now.
Nintendo 64. I haven't met any other Russian or Ukrainian guys, and I haven't met them either in video games, but whatever. The laptop files contain an email from April 2015 in which Pozovsky appears to thank Hunter for setting up a meeting with his dad. And sure enough, just 8 months after that email was sent, Vice President Biden did, in fact, speak to Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko about Shokin, who was then dismissed from his role as the nation's top prosecutor. Seems suspect. These specific allegations were the subject of that initial New York Post item in October of 2020, the one that started the entire epic Laptop from Hell cinematic franchise. But it's not really as open and shut as the Post would maybe make it sound. First of all, there's no evidence that any official meeting ever actually happened between Kazarsky and Vice President Biden. Nothing is mentioned in any of Biden's formal notes or schedules, and he's always denied that any such meeting took place. It's possible that the two men attended the same event and may have spoken. It just doesn't appear on their schedules. But the only concrete evidence we have for this connection is the email from Pozovsky to Hunter. And depending on how you read it, he could be thanking him for trying to set up a meeting, not thanking him for a meeting that already took place or was definitely going to. And although Biden did pressure the government of Ukraine to fire Victor Shokin as the country's top prosecutor, so did a lot of other world leaders and governments, including some forces within Ukraine. Shokin was publicly accused of corruption, not only by Joe Biden, but by Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, and Daria Kalenia, the co-founder and executive director of the Anti-Corruption Action Center in Kiev. Also, the Ukrainian parliament voted to remove Shokin because of very clear acts of corruption. Yuri Lutsenko, the Ukrainian prosecutor who took over the top job after Shokin, has said there's no reason to investigate Biden over those allegations, which I guess is, what he'd say, right? Still, Hunter's actions here are kind of hard to defend. Even Joe Biden seems to think so. He was asked about his son working for a Ukrainian gas company at a town hall in December 2019, long before the laptop had ever leaked to the public, and responded by calling the questioner fat and challenging him to a push-up contest.
The reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know what most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups together. Let's run. That's what everyone wants to do. And nobody's ever said it.
I forgot how much of his campaign was centered around saying people like weak or fat or something like that.
No, Jack. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. You know what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Jack.
You're on that line. Oh, you don't hear that on MSNBC. You do not hear that at all. What you heard? Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man. Well, you need to do it, but look, there's the deal.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I totally forgot that it was actually in the same sequence. It was the same. Yeah, all right. To be rock star and metal and all that kind of stuff. Well, these are still very, very rich, powerful families that are deep political dynasties at this point, who are deeply entrenched within the American, system and utilizing some of that for what he was alleged to have done. That's bad. That part sucks. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I don't think anyone's on that side. I don't see the point in getting mad. Like, of course, Joe Biden, of all things, if you have your power, why wouldn't you use your ability to pardon someone, to pardon your own son? I think that is a very reasonable thing that someone would do, put in his position. If you're really upset about the fact that Joe Biden lies, you should be really upset about the fact that Joe Biden's lies have also tried to cover up genocide. That's far more ridiculous. That's far more disgusting. That's something very worth your time, anger, and platforms to all these liberal insiders who are now like, I cannot ever again say that I'm going to support Joe Biden or the Democrats after seeing him pardon fucking his son for gun charges. Oh my God, I can't believe he would do that. He lied to us. He lied to us. I say we were promised something and then he said and did something different. Oh my word. And also, if I was going to get mad at Joe Biden when it comes to pardons or lack thereof, again, it would be for people who are getting pardons. They actually have to send us to the police to have. Are you against death penalty? Do you think the death penalty should be abolished in America? Well, there's a lot of people on death row. I believe there's 40 men on death row right now who have specifically asked that their sentences be commuted from death row to life in prison. One example of someone who did not get that ability was Marcellus Williams, despite prosecutors and the victim's family asking for him to be spared. This was in the news a lot right up until the moment of his execution. There's a lot of people who are on death row right now that can really use those pardons in order to be commuted to having life in prison. That would be a much more valuable use of that power. The same thing happens to apply to, and shout out to Dylan Mike for using this in his podcast to talk about this. Mr. Biden, a truly visible man who sees value and freedom for an 80-year-old Indigenous American activist. I pray you are that man and your pen finds mercy for Leonard Peltier, which again, an Indigenous activist I would like to see pardoned, and this would be, I think, a valuable use of that resource rather than simply using it to help your child out. Again, not something that is entirely surprising or shocking that a politician would do. It actually makes a lot of sense that a politician would do something like that if they have the power to do it. But when it comes down to the selective outrage by libs, is quite telling.
Steve, but whopping you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators. Because we're actually going to use the Constitution to prosecute them for crimes they said we have always been guilty of, but never have.
And this is Kash Patel speaking on the Sean Ryan show in September.
The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking...
Wait, if you're unaware, if you are not American or you're an American who hasn't been paying attention, this is who Trump is picking to head the FBI. The full-blown Alex Jones tier conspiracy theorist who spreads the most Alex Jones of Alex Jones conspiracies. It's quite wild. It's something that I think more people should be like, wait, what? Can you sound the alarm on this, please? Can you do something about it, please? Biden, you don't have a lot of days left. I would start putting in measures to be like, hey, by the way, maybe we should use a lot of our collective efforts now to try and block this shit on some level.
Looking for the next government promotion, looking for the next fancy government title, looking for the parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
So
this is such a wild time for the accelerationists. I can't imagine how y'all are feeling right now. Like, you're getting everything you ever wanted.
Well, again, that's Kash Patel. When President Trump wanted to make him deputy director of the FBI in his first administration, the Attorney General, Bob Barr, said over my, Bill Barr, said over my dead body. Mehdi Hassan.
Yes, he did. Bill Barr, of all people, said the guy was completely unqualified. It was detached from reality to try and put him in the FBI. And he said, over my dead body, Gina Haspel, who was director of the CIA in December 2020 during Trump's lame duck when Trump tried to appoint Kash Patel to deputy director of the CIA. She threatened to resign, and Mike Pence had to get involved and block that. So this is not some kind of liberal whining about Kash Patel. Prominent conservatives at the time said, no way, this guy is completely unqualified. And you put...
I love how every photo of him just has that like oh my god. This dude is about to fuck some shit up.
That clip from the War Room, from the Steve Bannon show, I think that from December 2023. He put us on notice, he says in that clip, we're putting you on notice. Well, we're on notice. In fact, I've been warning about Kash Patel since 2022, when I predicted, when I was at MSNBC, and I predicted that Trump would make an FBI director and he would go after the media. He's making it very clear. He wants to prosecute journalists. In another time and era, Amy, those words would be chilling. Those words would disqualify him from the running, but of course Republican senators mostly will fall in line. We'll see if the Murkowskis and the Susan Collinses and Mitch McConnell, whether they'll push back in the way they did on Matt Gaetz. He's a deeply dangerous nominee. I would argue that clip you played from the Bannon War Room show makes him perhaps the most dangerous nominee so far, because he's open about the fact that he wants to use the power of the state to crush Donald Trump's opponents. He's a sycophant, he's a back carrier. He literally wrote a children's book about King Donald Trump. That's how sycophantic he is. And I would say to some of the progressives maybe watching your show this morning, Amy Goodman, who say, well, you know what, the FBI does need reform. We on the left don't like the FBI. We think Kash Patel should go break it up. Well, look, you could not like the FBI for good reason, but the only reason Kash Patel and the Republicans don't like the FBI is because the FBI investigated Donald Trump over ties to Russia, and because the FBI went to Mar-a-Lago and searched his home for stolen classified documents, which he was keeping.
Oh my god, it's true. I didn't even know about that part. It's called The Plot Against the King. This is gonna be the new head of the FBI. You gotta be fucking me. Shit, oh man. All of it would be so supremely funny if it wasn't like the country that has the second largest nuclear arsenal, the largest military, most powerful military by far. Like, if it wasn't that, I would just be like, this is all fucking hilarious. Now it's just kind of like, you gotta laugh or you're gonna scream kind of shit. Because, oh my god, yeah, what a ride. What a ride, you know? And the shitty thing is that a lot of people didn't buy the ticket. Like, I don't just mean the Americans who didn't vote for Donald Trump. I mean the world. The rest of the world who's watching this. Like, it's one of those things where you're just like, what you up to, America? Oh no. Oh no, so that guy's gonna be the head of the FBI. The one who wrote the children's book, The Plot Against the King. Oh my. Patel's also penned 3 children's books as part of the Plot Against the King trilogy. Oh, my apologies, sorry. This is but one in the trilogy of the anti-truth. The first was so good, I couldn't put it down. I had to buy the next 2. Featuring himself as a wizard called Distinguished Discoverer, defending King Donald from villains. The 3 main villains are Hillary Clinton, Sleepy Joe, and Kamala. 3 books. The first installment, which Patel calls the first ever children's Russian novel, tells the story of an FBI started investigating Trump's 2016 campaign alleged ties with the Kremlin based on the Steele dossier. What fucking child will understand the sentence that just came out of my mouth? Are you insane? The blurb reads, "This is fantastical retelling of Hillary's horrible plot against Trump to the whole family." The third and final book details King Donald's return to retake the throne from Kamala, and what the publisher Brave Books describes as a great way to start a conversation with your kids about the election. What are the recommended ages here? Patel also authored his 2023 memoir, Government Gangsters, where he calls for a purge of the government employers who undermine the president's agenda. Patel's other ventures include a charity, the Cash Foundation, which was set up to provide legal defense funds to whistleblowers, according to its website. The organization came into scrutiny last year after Patel said that he paid the legal fees for 2 Republican House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan's witnesses in his bid to prove the federal government had been weaponized against conservatives. The charity's store includes a suite of merchandise from Patel's I don't know what that is, brand, including playing cards of himself as the king and Hillary Clinton as the Joker, apparel with Trump's hair photoshopped into a Punisher skull of the range called the Orange Man. The charity's revenue rose $425,000 spent on average. It's the song Justice for All before. Jail. He reportedly has consulting contracts a year just for every single person who's now directly accepted that, you know what, fuck it all. We're going just full steam ahead, full sicko mode. You know, that's what this is effectively going to be, the administration of sickos. And everyone's getting paid, you know? Well, a lot of people at least. Some people are probably going to be left holding the bag, but like a lot of other people are getting fucking paid. It's going to be the elites replaced with.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This independent series is made entirely possible thanks to our patrons. It was produced by Annalise Ramsey, Alien McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie.
This question comes from me. It's a new chapter. At the end of the laser pointer video, we constructed an array of lasers with a total power of 2 times 10 to the 24 watts, which not only lit up the moon, but violently ejected it from orbit around the Earth. We decided that was enough power. But why? You can always make a number bigger. No one can stop you. There are infinitely many numbers, and I want to know, what if we tried even more power? A 2 times 10 to the 24 watt laser is powerful. When we turned ours on, it made the moon-facing surface of the Earth significantly more luminous than the sun. That's impressive, but we can do better. The universe contains death rays that make our moon obliterating beam look like a handheld laser pointer. Gamma ray rays. A gamma ray is just what we call a very high-energy photon of electromagnetic radiation. When you see a chart of the electromagnetic spectrum, gamma rays are basically anything more energetic than X-rays. At the high end, they're literally off the chart. They come from high-energy events like nuclear explosions. Gamma ray bursts are made when something very bad happens to a star. When massive stars collapse, their cores give in to the crushing pull of their own gravity, release an enormous burst of energy, and tear the star apart from the inside. For reasons that we don't fully understand, these explosions often produce jets shooting away along the poles of the collapsing star. These jets can travel across much of the universe, and when Earth is in line with one of them, we see it as a flash of gamma rays from deep space. We didn't know about gamma ray bursts until we launched a satellite to watch for gamma ray flashes from nuclear explosions on Earth, and we were surprised to see flashes coming from everywhere else in the universe instead. The peak power of beams from gamma ray bursts can be on the order of 10 to the 44 watts, which is much more powerful than our laser array. To get a 10 to the 44 watt death ray of our own, we need to give each person on the moon-facing side of the planet a 2 times 10 to the 34 watt laser. That is, each person would need a laser 10 billion times more powerful than the final combined laser that violently ejected the moon. This is an implausible scenario, and it wouldn't work for reasons we'll get to in a minute. But first, let's think about what we could do with a beam like that. We'd have to focus it carefully since laser beams spread out as they travel. The minimum angle of spread depends on the size of the source of the beam. For laser beams emitted by lenses 2 meters wide, the limit is about 0.1 arc seconds, or 3/100,000ths of a degree. The laser beam limit formula is weirdly similar to the formula used to determine the maximum resolution of telescopes like Hubble, because in a sense, a telescope is just a death ray running in reverse. Hubble has a 2.4 meter mirror, and its angular resolution is a little less than 0.1 arc seconds, similar to the angular limit of our 2 meter laser. The laser array from the original chapter was pretty powerful, but not particularly narrow. If it had been focused into a Hubble-style beam, it could conceivably have fried the surfaces of planets anywhere in our galaxy. A 10 to the 44 watt death ray would be much worse. If we tightly focused it down to the diffraction limit, it could reach targets far outside our galaxy, frying the surfaces of planets up to 5 or 10 billion light years away. But don't rush out to buy a 10 to the 44 watt laser just yet. At cosmic energy scales, normal optics breaks down. For example, if a beam is powerful enough, it could exert a gravitational pull on itself. Photons carry energy, and energy creates gravitational fields. For normal light beams, this is negligible, but for a 10 to the 44 watt laser the size of the Earth, photons on the outer edge would experience an acceleration of over 10 Gs toward the beam centerline. But physics has another surprise, one that finally puts an upper limit on how powerful lasers can get. Namely, if a beam of light gets too bright, space itself stops being transparent. If you pack enough laser energy into a small enough space, quantum mechanics predicts that the strong electromagnetic fields will result in spontaneous creation of particles and antiparticles. These particles, mostly electrons and positrons, would intercept some of the laser energy, which would result in more particles being created. For laser power densities above about 10 to the 26 watts per square centimeter, this process is expected to cascade, fully halting the laser's progress and providing an upper limit on how much power our beam can handle. In the end, it turns out physics is not math. You can always find a bigger number, but you can't always make a bigger laser.
Alright, next song is TV Off. This is track number 7.
No TV.
No more TV.
And I know y'all waiting for this one, though. I know it.
This TV off. This is the one I said go crazy. This is the best song on the album. All right, let's do it.
All right, let's see where you're going with this. Let's see why the TV is off. Here we go. So obviously some mustard because it's jazzy, but it's also not like us style.
Ooh. All I ever wanted was a black grand national. Being rational, give them what they asked for.
All I ever wanted was a black grand national. Come on, all right, baby.
It's not enough. Ow! Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough.
Y'all to eat.
That's all you gotta hear is this a loud smooth intro.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas.
I just like the.
Is that mustard?
Mustard on the beat, how?
Is that mustard? Cause damn.
I like the production.
Damn, chop it up then.
Dude, this is like Not Like Us' little brother.
Few solid is left,
but it's not enough, gang. Few solid is that a step, but it's not enough.
That's not good enough.
Hey, DJ Mustard has a very like open production style. You know what I mean? It's like just a hi-hat and then it's whatever his actual like the core of the beat is. There's not a lot going on in the beats. There's so much room for the artist to breathe.
Okay, Rakim. There's a sample on there that slowed down. It's a return of the Grand Nationalist National Hits. What was the name of that song? Guess Who's Back? Yeah. Okay, that's what this sounds like. Yeah. Oh.
They like, what he on? This is Alpha and Omega. It's welcome home. This is a revelation. How they get a nigga gone?
This is not a song. This is a revelation. How they get a ninja gone? Get him up out of here. He say, look, bro. Somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta tell the truth. Somebody. I'm gonna make them mad. Somebody gotta do it.
How many more beats like this do you think Mustard has on the fucking hard drive?
I hope it's endless.
Like,
because they just work.
Like, get them out there.
They're so
Get
good.
these beats out there.
Some correction, that's the plan, baby. What's your life? Where it's not enough.
Hey, don't put life in these weird niggas, man.
See what I can, baby. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You looking at us and you know you like it. It's not enough.
Yo.
But it's not enough.
But it's not enough. Whew, that beat is so hard. It is so
I like the range you show on the album.
Yeah.
That's why I really like appreciate this album a lot.
And the noise.
It's like, it's obviously a very repetitive loop, but for some reason I like that. I don't know what it is, but I like that.
Turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities, and don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many shit I see? Send them off.
With what type of activities don't you get involved? Turn his TV off. Why? Why would you turn someone's TV off? Because Kendrick Lamar is all over the TV. Kendrick Lamar is all over the news. Who's upset about that? Maybe Drake needs to have that TV turned off while he's away on vacation because he doesn't need to be reminded of getting washed by Kendrick. Maybe Lil Wayne is so disappointed, he's so upset about the Super Bowl. Maybe he needs his TV turned off when that Super Bowl happens.
Hey, I mean, shit I see, send them off. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog.
Midline, he just went. Like, did you hear that shit? Like, what? Like, what? He's a psychopath. He's a fucking psychopath.
So good.
You know, things like the best artists are crazy. They're unhinged. Like, normies can't do that. Normies don't do that, kid.
No, they're not good.
That's something special when your brain's wired a certain way.
His voice, the way he uses voice inflection, he's always been and I'm telling you, I think he's been doing that before he worked with Dr. Dre, but that's one thing that people who work with Dr. Dre say that Dr. Dre fully understands. Will have you re-record something 100 times so you get the inflection the right way.
How many should I see? Send them off. Take a risk or take a. And that's why too. How many should I send? Send them off, right? How many stocks do I got? How many options you want? Right? And he counts it down. We know he's got more in the chamber. We know he's got more in stock. But in this case, he's saying, you know what? Unleash it. Let's just unload the full clip. With a couple sergeants and lieutenants for the get back. This revolution been televised. I fell through with the hit next.
Bro, he said, who you with? I'm with a couple lieutenants for the get back. This revolution televised. He's telling y'all every song, I think every single song is a mention to old boy. And he didn't even say his name yet. He said, oh boy.
I love this flow. I love that flow.
His diction is so clean.
Yeah, it is.
Say, young girl, get your chili up. Yeah, I hit that. A blackout, if they act out. Yeah, I did that.
Blacked out if they act out. Yeah, I did that. This is also a victory lap. God!
Hey, what's up, y'all? I hate them. Just hating on the fiction. They both old. I hate them. Hating on them.
Hey, they hating on them. And they both.
Come on.
Oh, man.
The irony, right? This is great.
I hate them. Hating on them niggas and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no, I hate them. Hating on them and they both broke. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Ooh!
That's a bar.
Alright. Hold on, yo. Both hoes, I hate them. And they both broke.
I hate a bitch that hated on a bitch and they both hoes. I hated nigga and hated on the nigga and they both broke. They talk that shit. Yo, his swag, his style. This is music, nigga. This is music, nigga. Hey, talk that shit.
Not enough.
Just thinking that, entitled because they knew me from when I was kids. Fuck my granny off if she don't see it how I see it.
And you know how rappers feel.
I love you, man. You see me like, you really like
And you know how people feel about it. You be watching this. You be watching.
If Granny ain't got a chance, ain't nobody got a chance, dog.
He entitled since he knew me since a kid. Who he talking about? He said, I cut my granny off. You still see it how I see it.
Big mouth, but he left big idea. Send him to the moon. That his eyes real, yeah.
Love that line. He got a big mouth, but he lacks big ideas. A number of people popping off at Kendrick, they got a big mouth, but they don't have the same ideas. They don't stand for the same values that I show throughout my music. Right? You gonna talk the talk, but you gonna walk the walk at the end of the day.
What? Y'all thought Not Like Us was... Bro, he got about 2, 3 Not Like Us's on this so far.
He switched!
Oh no. Oh no. What are you doing? Okay, I gotta say this. Sonically, this album to me is
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
boppy, most bouncy, most energetic, most like fresh. What the fuck?
This guy just used it like that. They sound like he was blazing. And he deserved that. And he deserved that. He deserved that. Mustard! He deserved that.
It's like a superhero calling a sidekick.
Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan, bro.
Yup.
You ain't just transform that fast. You ain't do it to us like that, Kendrick.
Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. A little ode to Jay. Wait, no, it's Biggie. Am I wrong? Right? It's Biggie. These guys, Biggie or Jay, because it's their style. They kind of have a style that kind of meshes and goes, okay, it's kind of a style that meshes and sounds very similar, although their voices are extremely different. And I feel like that fucks me up sometimes.
It was pass interference, padlock around the building. Crack just a freeze tag.
My dog said, I'm in the sea with flags getting thrown like it's an interference, like a pass interference. Let's get it. Oh my God.
Oh, and the punch, the punching like rain.
So when I made it out, I made about 50K from a show. Trying to show it's the ropes before they hung from a pole.
Bro, when I made it out, trying to sew on the rope. I tried to tell y'all how to do it.
Only good for saving face, seen the cosmetics. How many hands I gotta take?
They're only good for saving face and seeing the cosmetics. And you talked about, again, the industry and the shallowness and the face value of like the drinks. I've seen the cosmetics of that because they only care about their image and saving face. They really care about the art and something greater, this spirituality, this mission that I'm on. Mr. Morale, baby.
Just hurry up and get your muscle up. We got the plyometric. Nigga ran up by the lux messer up the highest metric.
Muscle up, plyometrics in the gym. Get your muscle up in terms of what you have, but also bulk up in terms of what you're doing because I'm beheaded. All these dudes, and that still ties in with the king bar. How many heads, right? He's got Drake on the plate right now. Who wants it next?
The city just made it sweet. You could diabetic. They mouth shit full of deceit. Let this
Sweet, diabetic.
That's a bar, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great bar.
Oh my God! The city just made it sweet. You could diabetic.
Yeah.
That's hard.
That's nasty, yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
They mouth shit full of deceit. Let these showers tell it. Walk into a news with the etiquette of LA yelling.
Chat, I ain't gonna lie. LA must be stopped. I ain't gonna lie. The Dodgers are the one to shit. They won the World Series. Kendrick is over here with all this West Coast shit. Man, the West gotta be stopped, bro. Gotta be stopped. We need somebody to get a run, man. Okay?
Walk into a news with the etiquette of LA yelling.
We gotta go act like Kendrick. They just what? Put the thumbs up in the chat. If he's not, tell the truth. If he's not, if you know, you know. He just said, the city just made it sweet. You can diabetic. Said what?
I hope that's like his job whenever, like, yeah, he's got to, I hope that's his IP for like the next 5-10 years. He must have looked insane in the studio doing that.
It's second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas.
I need a break, dog. I wasn't prepared, bro. Y'all wasn't playing, dog. That may be one of Kendrick's hardest songs ever. He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot, bro. God damn, bro.
Yo, how you wave the flag? Yo!
And he ain't ready for the Super Bowl?
That off, bro.
Mustard! Start off the show like that, man. Oh, yeah.
Turn his TV on. Turn his TV on.
Yeah, bro. That's a certified hit right there. Woo!
Oh my God.
Cooking. He cooking.
The beat switch.
Yeah, man. He cooking, man. I'm liking that one too.
Crazy.
Why he say mustard so hard? I think more artists need to shout out their producer, like, yo, this is really my guy. Like, I feel like you gotta do that really, really more. Because you gotta acknowledge like who's putting together these instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? Who laying the background and foundation for you to put the energy that you gotta put into these tracks the way they are. Like I need a call like that. Like Mustard is just a knight in shining armor. He about to come and like, you know what I'm saying, destroy everybody else that's on the yard. I need to hear that. I need to hear more of that, man. I like a lot of the shots in there too. I could have sworn I heard like a no face type of bar in there. It's just a good track. I heard the Biggie reference in there, man. Like it's just all good. It is all good.
Yeah, Mustard at Flognaw was actually kind of funny. He's probably like one of 5 people that knew this bit was going to happen. Like, you know, again, with how this dropped, probably not a lot of people. This is probably not a lot of people knew this was about to come out. And that was crazy.
Every song on this album is like a 10 out of 10. I mean, that wasn't as good as Reincarnate because I don't know if anything can be realistically, but absolute ripper from the jump. And then that second part with the fucking 7 Samurai sounding sample in there as well. The bounce to the beat, the energy, the flow was insane in the second verse. I'm not even going to try and pretend that I was really catching the bars. He said something about sweet and diabetic, but give me permission just to let the music hit me. You know what I'm saying? We are in a moment. We are experiencing history as it happens. We are experiencing a phenomenon, a legendary record as it fucking happens.
This is not a song. This is a revelation. How they get it?
Hey everybody, it's Tim North from the Bulwark. Sometimes you have to appreciate it when somebody who really deserves it is humiliated. You know, we haven't got enough of that this month, so I felt like you might deserve to indulge in this little delicacy of life if you hadn't seen it yet. Of course, I'm talking about Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh D'Souza is a far-right fabulist and quasi-journalist documentarian. Who used to be at the National Review in good standing for quite a while. They had him on their masthead there. He has since, maybe always, but he's really flown over the cuckoo's nest. It's a long way from when he kind of like a little love triangle with Ann Coulter and Laura Ingraham. That's maybe a story for another day. But Dinesh became one of Donald Trump's most slavish, devoted supporters and propagandists after Donald Trump pardoned him. Speaking of corrupt pardons, add that one to Donald Trump's list. As part of that effort, he was obviously one of the big cheerleaders and ringleaders of the Stop the Steal stuff and pushed all the election denial insanity. But more than that, he created an entire documentary about this called 2000 Mules. 2000 Mules was so significant in the firmament of the MAGA worldview that back in, I don't know, probably 2022, I was at a campaign event, a Ted Cruz campaign event in Arizona I was covering. Ted's talking up there, he's bloviating, he's blah, blah, blah. And this guy in the crowd shouts out, 2,000 mules! I've got a balance. And Ted, who was in the middle of the rip where he's like, text Ted Cruz to whatever. He goes, text 2,000 mules! Ted Cruz, it doesn't make any sense. But the crowd cheers! Yeah, 2,000 mules! 2,000 mules! They stole it from us! They're delighted. Everybody knows what he's talking about. It's a nonsense. Not a conspiracy documentary. So kudos to Dinesh, and kudos to his, I believe it's his nephew, that is now in Congress, a big marketer of the movie, Congress in Texas. They really got it deep into the MAGA mindset, the MAGA worldview. Everybody was convinced 2,000 mules is the thing that demonstrated that Donald Trump was the rightful president. They'd stolen from him. Alas, 2,000 mules is bullshit, which we all know. Bullock wrote about that a while ago, years ago. And my colleague at the time, Amanda Carpenter, did a big takedown of it. We've been following this for a while. anyone with any brains knew that it was fake because it just defied logic. The whole premise of 2000 Mules was it was like based on cell phone geolocation data, and they were like noticing that people were going like back and forth to areas where drop boxes were, but there was no actual evidence. I mean, it might have just been like mailman or people. The drop box was maybe outside of school, and people doing school pickup or whatever. Anyway, there was no action. But he got sued as a result of this. There were these very harsh accusations against people and fingered people as being treasonous. And so I took him to court. Some of the courts still work. I know that many of our commenters down there think it's total nihilism now out there in the world. All rules and norms are dead. And like we shouldn't respect the courts anymore. But the courts are doing real work. And the result of some of their real work is quite delicious, actually. Here we go. Here is a statement that Dinesh D'Souza was forced to put out about 2000 Mules. As those who have seen the film or read the book know, 2000 Mules was based on cell phone geolocation data collected and reviewed by True the Vote. An analysis of this data revealed highly suspicious patterns of certain cell phones, which were recorded in the location of 10 or more Dropbox. Dun, dun, dun. This data was the premise of the film. His words. This data was the premise of the film. During the production of this film, as a supplement to the geolocation data, True the Vote provided my team with valid Dropbox for data footage that had been obtained through open records requests. We were assured that the surveillance videos had been linked to geolocation cell phone data, such that each video depicted an individual who had made at least 10 visits to the Dropbox. Indeed, it is clear from the interviews within the film itself that True the Vote was correlating the videos to the geolocation data. We recently learned that the surveillance videos used in the film may not have actually been correlated with the geolocation data. There wasn't one person going back to the Dropbox with the video of. Some dude who walks his dog by there every day. Some jogger who goes by the Dropbox on their daily jog. Who knows? Might be a smoker. Drags off a heater in a couple days. But wasn't a mule. Wasn't a mule. He goes on more and more and more. He tries to say that they operated in good faith. But in the end, he has to apologize to the individual, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was one of the people that you can see in the surveillance video going to Dropbox. He was identifiable, and so this person's reputation, this is just a random person, his reputation was being sullied by Dinesh D'Souza. And so he has to write this. I think his lawyers must have forced him to do this. I owe this individual, Mark Andrews, an apology. I now understand that the surveillance videos used in the film were characterized on the basis of inaccurate information provided to me in my team. Again, I apologize to Mr. Andrews and make this apology not under the terms of the settlement agreement or under duress. You know, I mean, honestly, if I was in another press release that humiliating, I think I would just move to Uruguay or something. I certainly drop off the grid for a little while. I'd go hang out with Lichtman. I don't know what I'd do, but this is essentially Dinesh D'Souza saying that like my life's work for the last 4 years was a total fraud. I mean, how humiliating is that? Total fraud. Your life's work. You're just a fake. It's a fake. It was all a fake. I made a whole documentary. The key video. What's the word we used? The video that was the premise of the film. It's fraudulent. I went around promoting it, talking about it, tweeted about it a million times. You'd never see me again. I mean, you'd never see me again at some point, but I would be gone. I would be on an ayahuasca retreat with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what I'd be doing. But I'd be out of here if I was Dinesh D'Souza. Not Dinesh though. Dinesh tweeted at me today. Let's pull that up. go. I tweeted this list of the people that Kash Patel says that he is going to target. It's the list of deep state officials that he put in his book, Government Gangsters. And Dinesh saw the list, of course,
What?
saying, please tell me you can on this short list. Mr. Man who got pardoned, Mr. Man whose entire life's work for the last half decade is a fraud. This just, I was going to say an unapologetic liar, but he had to apologize today. Somebody who has just been full of shit about this fake election fraud stuff for years now. He now wants the government to go after other people? This is shameful, dude. This is really shameful stuff, man. But I guess you gotta do something. I guess you gotta do something. You put out a press release saying that everything that I did, the tours, the events, the movies I went out, I gave speeches, people cheered for me, I saw the speech, movies, council. It was all fake. All fake. And I'm going to apologize to some poor guy, Mark Andrews, that got wrapped up in my fakery. Pretty embarrassing. So, you know, we got to take the joy we can get these days. And Joe F. D'Souza's press release. It's one place giving me a little joy. Same with Aaron Rodgers, actually. Aaron Rodgers' football performance, but that's for a sports podcast. All right, everybody. I've got some foreign policy interviews coming up. We'll have more on Russ Vogt. This is a scary dude. We got an interview on that coming up. So keep your eye on the feed. Subscribe. Tell your friends. If they're looking for some Schadenfreude somewhere, if they're looking for somebody who's not gonna bullshit them for years and years, Lord Cupid is a good place for that. So come hang out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus subscriber. You get access to bonus podcasts, secret podcasts, and
McGee's tone is comprised of the following elements. We have a Fender 62 Jaguar tuned to a baritone tune. You don't have a baritone guitar, get some fixed strings and just tune it down to A standard. It's gonna be kind of tough though. We've been going into a Ranger FX Reverb X pedal, into a Chase Blitz Lude, a Cattling Bred Bell Epoch, that's a tape echo, Boss BF2 flanger, and then an Electro Harmonics debugger. Now all of that is introduced to a Tascam.
Are you ready? Warren, this will be a more serious affair than the last one. There's not going to be any questioning of the audience with moves. So we have a queen spot opening. So far, so good.
Toast is a very new player to chess, known for his strategy gaming. I invited him to a chess tournament. It was the Ludwig Stupid Chess Stuff.
Yeah, so we did that.
Where you were able to see the eval bar. Toast performed phenomenally in that event for somebody who's not really accustomed to the game. Point throw. Hasn't played too much chess, but picked it up, I think, for this event. Played it with childhood, so.
By the way, mirror image position. This is one of the things about the London. It's non-combative, so your opponent can mirror image what you do. Now, as white, you can take advantage of that because you go first. In this case, Point Crow was just trying to develop his pieces. He's not looking to take advantage of anything. And I actually feel like Toast might just copy him until he punches him in the face at the chessboard, which will probably be a DQ. So he's going to probably make.
I think it's fair to say that the brand new M4 Mac Mini has been nothing short of a revelation. Insane amounts of computational power, rivaling that of the M2 Ultra Mac Studio in an impossibly small form factor. Not that much bigger than an Apple TV. At just 5 inches by 5 inches, it's an impressive feat of engineering. I mean, many YouTubers are already calling it the best Mac ever made. But not many YouTubers, I mean pretty much no one, seems to be talking about how the new base model 599 M4 Mac Mini isn't just the best deal in tech right now, it might just be the best deal in music. Let me explain. So for $599 US, what do you get? Well, you get the new M4 chip with a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU and a 16-core brand new neural engine, which powers both Apple Intelligence and the generative AI features within Logic Pro 11. course, I'm talking about the stem splitter feature, the new mastering plugin, and the new session players. Now, we do get 16 gigabytes of unified memory as standard. Remember, it's unified memory, not RAM. Must not call it RAM, it's not RAM. So yes, it can borrow from the SSD when under heavy loads. And we know how efficient Apple's unified memory is. 16 gigabytes is the new standard across all of Apple's Macs, and this is thought to be because of Apple Intelligence and the amount of unified memory that needs. However, 16 gigabytes for music production is more than enough for most people. You also get 256 gigabytes of storage in the base model, and all of the connectivity you could possibly want and need in 2024. So there are 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a HDMI port, 2 USB-C ports, a headphone jack, and an Ethernet port. So these are some pretty solid specs for $599 US. But how does that actually translate when it comes to performance in Logic Pro? Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is where it gets rather interesting. So let's go through some of the benchmark and performance tests that have been carried out. Now, strangely enough, not many of the big tech YouTubers have actually done specific audio production tests for the M4 chip, but thankfully Max Tech has pulled through for us, and their findings are pretty impressive. So the base model entry-level M4 Mac Mini. The M4 chip powering this device comes with 4 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores. Now, the performance cores are the important ones. They determine how many plugins, VSTs, software instruments we can run in one session. So 4 performance cores. What does that actually get us in real life usage of Logic Pro using the base model Mac Mini? Well, it gets us 130 tracks. 130. That is more than enough for any song. And if you are using more than 130 tracks, you're probably overproducing anyway. Even better, its single core performance is actually on par with that of the M2 Ultra Mac Studio, which I believe is about $5 grand. It's kind of mental in such a tiny form factor that this is possible. And then when you also take into consideration that for this price you're getting 16 gigabytes of unified memory as standard, and you're getting a neural engine in the M4 chip specifically designed for Apple Intelligence and these new Logic AI-powered features, meaning that Stem Splitter and the new mastering plugin will just work seamlessly in this device. And yes, you could upgrade the Mac Mini if you wanted to on the website, but I guess my recommendation is simply put, if you do need more computing power, then you will already know that you need more computing power. The people that need it, they'll just know. Just be wary of upgrading from the base model. Apple is still charging crazy amounts for upgrading the RAM. Unified memory, and also storage upgrades. So my advice would be, if you really do need it, then buy it. Unified memory upgrades, or RAM, whatever you want to call it, can't really be avoided if you do need that headroom. External storage though is way more cost effective, so I'd just buy an external SSD. However, if you are just starting out with music production at home, or produce music with primarily live instrumentation, so you deal
Lakers versus Timberwolves, we said. This should be a good game. Let me watch it on my expensive inch flat screen at my downtown loft that my wife and I own, while eating medium rare dodo that is in fact not extinct, with a glass of sparkling water poured from the holy grail that I just found. What do you think I've been for the past 3 days?
You ain't nothing but a liar.
Whoa, what is this? Is this an NBA TV? Is this Discovery Channel? Damn remote. Wait, it says this is NBA TV.
Commissioner Diane.
I should have known Lakers lost. D'Lo was on the Thunder, which is ironic because he played the best on the team. But if D'Lo is leading the Lakers in scoring 9 times out of 10, they're losing that game.
Offense is taking stuff like that. There's no problem with the offense. It's not good offensively right now. I think we spent so much time on trying to get our defense corrected that our offense just took a toll and took a backseat to that. So we're not good offensively right now.
That goes triple-doubly for you. This man has missed 9 times. Oh, Lord have mercy. Go back and look at that. Makes a pay. 19 consecutive three-pointers missed. Something that JJ has gone on record in saying he wants them to do more of, which is three-point shooting. He looks like a Ben Affleck variant. Man looks stressed. Man looks like he served 4 years in office.
coaching, of course, is very difficult. But coaching the Lakers and coaching almost any other team in the NBA is entirely different, especially when LeBron James is on your roster. That's like 3 teams of coaching while simultaneously being worried about the bus you will eventually be thrown under when things go left. And I say when, not if, because they always go left.
I'm gonna say this.
LeBron should retire after this year. I debated wanting to say this. I struggled with not doing so at the beginning of this video until I hit my head and almost forgot who I was. And I thought, wait a minute, you pissed off fan bases on your original channel far worse than Bron Tomatons. Why are you struggling with this tape? While I pride myself in being fair and logical, I don't want to come off as too much of a hater. I hated Jordan on the Wizards. It was an unnecessary sequel to greatness nobody asked for. And thinking a 40-year-old shouldn't be the face of this franchise in the NBA isn't even a wild take. What's really wild are the people who bring up his age as a benefit when he's doing good, but when he's doing bad, say he's 40 years old, what do you expect? I instead was going to talk about the game in general. Talk about how the Timberwolves in the past 2 games have held their opponents below 100 points. Talk about how they've been struggling to deal with their identity, something that I've touched on in a previous video. And then go on to talk about the Lakers not doing this, not doing that, being bad at this, defensively awful. Talk about they're doing as bad, if not worse, than they were the same time last year, except there's no in-season tournament cup to show for it. Talk about how they've fallen to 8th seed again, which they never had any business ever being higher than. And the only reason they were higher than that is because they had the privilege of playing bad teams, being the New Orleans Penguins, a Velociraptor display, Baba Yaga-less Grizzlies, and a freeform Jazz team. And half of the time barely beating those bad teams. But I said a lot of that before in past videos. But I haven't said LeBron should retire until now. Why do I say this? And I know people have already clicked off and they dislike. They see the title alone and they come here to comment absurdities instead of just watching. Look at these 3 players here. They are the current triumvirate of the NBA, otherwise known as the Big 3. The 3 of them have aged in different ways and they aren't quite what they used to be. They can all still ball, don't get it twisted. But the key difference here with LeBron in comparison to Curry and Durant don't need the ball in their hand to affect the game. LeBron does. Curry and Durant can kind of be slotted into any team and not disrupt the offensive scheme or momentum or the identity that team is going for. LeBron does. Curry and Durant are also not about to turn 40 years old in a few weeks. LeBron is. The game of Curry and Durant translates better as they get older. LeBron, however, due to his ball dominance, he acquires more wear and tear, and because of the amount of control he's been given by the Lakers, the worse the team does as a whole. And neither of these teams have a star making absurd proclamations and trying to play 82 games at 40 years old. Is he doing this because Jordan did it? I wouldn't be surprised. But that Wizards team wasn't really playing for anything. They didn't have lofty expectations like the Lakers do every single year. Are we playing for something? If the answer is no, then fine, doesn't matter. If the answer is yes, that's extremely foolish of you. And I know people will say, well, if he wasn't playing, the people would get angry at him for this, so he can't win this. He's 40. I would expect him to load manage. Only the idiots would say he should play every game. And if he isn't trying to play every single game so he can upend Jordan, then the reason would be what? He wants his team to be successful. How bad is this Lakers team that you at 40 years old feel as though you need to play every single game? Maybe he just loves the game. That's why he wants to play all 82. I guess loving the game is part of him leaving his team in a 4-on-5 or 3-or-5 disadvantage to complain to the ref live ball or to not cross half court. He does this every single game. And you will hear the retorts from fans of his saying he's resting, he's conserving his body. Then don't play all 82. Anybody who thinks there's nothing wrong with this, and champions resting during the game are probably people who slept in class during school or sleep during their shift while clocked in. The only difference is we're not being paid millions of dollars to go to work or go to school. So if I see you do that on the court, I'm going to question your commitment to this team. Or at the very least question why it is you insist on playing 82 games and you clearly can't physically manage that.
But then after this video, LeBron could go on to score 30-something points or 40-something, and everyone will be like, oh, you take 80 like milk. Oh, you're a hater. Doesn't change the fact that you are trotting out a 40-year-old player as your franchise guy. Yet when he goes 19 consecutive misses from three-point range, you bring up his age. He's 40 years old. What do you expect? That's like someone at the place you work at who's pretty up there in age, making a bunch of mistakes during the shift, and you should take some time off or readjust, reconfigure. And they say, no, I can't do that. I have to work every single day. And they continue to make mistakes. Are you going to feel bad for that person? No. Your sympathies will begin to fall as low as the Lakers' three-point percentage against the Timberwolves. If he does bad, he's 40, what do you expect? If he does good, he's 40 years old, making everyone look bad. Jordan never did this at 40. You can't keep hopping the fence. The constant thread here is that he's 40. And unlike your dolphin take, it doesn't flip-flop. It stays and remains the same. Until he grows another year older, then your take becomes even worse than it already was. A way in which you could work this out, other than having him low manage, is to simply have him come off the bench. But he's not going to do that because of ego. Well, it wouldn't make sense for him to get paid that much coming off the bench. Why? They drafted Bronny. It's a circus. Nothing matters anymore. Any organization that drafts a player like Bronny is unserious.
I don't really think the Lakers are serious. I love everything that it stands for. I think, what Brian is doing with his legacy and just, as a businessman and everything that comes with it, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's really, really great. But as far as the Lakers actually competing, I don't know. I take that as a sign as they aren't serious.
This just makes me think back to what Kevin Durant said about playing with LeBron or playing on the same team as him. It's a toxic environment. Only now LeBron is far older and the toxicity isn't worth it. When LeBron was doing all the amazing things he was doing in that 2018 year, yeah, you put up with the toxicity. You put up with it every year prior to that, maybe a few years after that, because it's LeBron. You know what he gives you. You know you're in championship position or you're a piece away from that. Pros and cons. Now there aren't any pros to this situation. If I'm a true Lakers fan, or if this was my team that I was rooting for, there's nothing to be happy about. I know that when he retires, we are going to be in perpetual hell for probably the better part of 10 years or something close to it, with no draft picks, traded all away to do what he wants. Get his son. Get his coach, even though he's trying to walk back on him ever having anything to do with JJ's hiring, which everyone knows is a lie. Get his players. Remember the Westbrook trade? That's LeBron's fault. And look at the resulting mess that ensued during and after it. All his fault. Everything has been for the betterment of LeBron for this Lakers team. Not so much the team itself. And I once again reiterate, it wouldn't matter as much if you were winning games or at least competitive. You aren't doing that.
I mean, it's like this young generation, they just take championships and they just toss it out the window like it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. We don't base it on something else. Winning championships don't matter. Well, what the hell? Why are you fighting? He can score the basketball and he's entertaining. Is he making the case? Depends on if they're winning, right? And winning, hey y'all, winning matters. You gotta win basketball games.
As Isaiah Thomas was talking about LaMelo there, could you not picture in your head similarities to LeBron? All of LeBron's supporters and people that really love him and barely criticize him. He's doing all this at 40. He's entertaining. He's got his son. It's such a beautiful story. Oh my God, are you winning? Yeah, but it's are you winning? But LeBron has 1,243 consecutive games of 10 or more points scored. Has that resulted in you not being 518? All these longevity stats are FUBAR if they don't amount to a W. How great are you if you can't accumulate individual accolades and win your team games? Isn't this a team sport? If it's just you winning out there individually, statistically, doesn't that defeat the purpose of what brings us here? Can LeBron still play at a higher level? Yeah, but he can't do it most of the time. He can't really even do it half of the time as much. And a lot of the points that you see him accrue are points in garbage time. A lot of this is window dressing and icing. The cake
It's the betterment of the team and how far they can go, not just in the regular season, but also the playoffs. And people need to move past the pleasantries of LeBron and his son, oh my God, what a great career. Get past that, get out of your fields and look at it for what it is. An aging player who is having difficulty keeping things up night in and night out, who yes can still ball, but can't affect winning on any meaningful level and can't do so consistently to the same level as your competitors in the West. If we could think a LeBron celebratory season, I could understand that. But they want to cater and bend over backwards to a LeBron and win a championship. And not even the LeBron of old, this current LeBron, this aging LeBron. That doesn't work. And it hasn't worked for the better part of what, a few years now. But nothing I say matters because the cycle will continue at least until he retires. Thank you all so much for watching. Tell me if anything I've said is wrong this video. Try to refute if you can. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you on the next one.
And it was so, because you start to realize worrying about all the minutia it's not really worth it.
See, I'm very much different in that I want to know what clips because I don't trust them. Like they'll do the trailer where it's like, the other day I was, and then I went over to, and like they cut it up so much. We're like, just give me one joke. Just put one joke in there, and then I'll be like, give me this other joke, and they'll give me the wrong one. They think they got the right one because of the name I gave, and it's like, no, I need it to be like this.
Yeah.
I trust them as little as possible. And my last special was 2019, and I remember going into Netflix and then going through everything. Here are the pictures you can choose from. Here are the clips. Here are everything. Huge presentation. Like, amazing work. And I'm like, oh my God, that one right there, number 13 out of 30 is the one I want. And this time it was way different. Where I'm like, what happened? Do they not care about me anymore? And it was like, no, all those people got fired. Everyone from 2019 is gone. It's a new crew, and they do it differently. And I was like, oh, okay. Got it. You can kind of let that go a little bit.
Not the big presentation thing anymore. And oh man, but I mean that's all great work. I can't tell you how. I mean, I see a lot. I'm on my Netflix radio show. I see a lot of stuff come through, and this is really, 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 really good.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
I'm very proud of it. And we talked before about, we went into the Comedy Store post-pandemic, where they're trying to save the store from the loss of Joe Rogan. It's like, okay, who are the big names who can come in and keep people coming here? And we talked about just, you were like, are you getting ready for a special? I'm like, no. I just want to be a comedian. I want to write new jokes, try them out, and enjoy myself, and I not worry about the hour.
And I remember that because I loved hearing that because I'm so hung up on people saying the hour, I'm working on my hour. Just shut up. How about just work on your act? How about your act and who knows what it's going to be? But you at that point weren't even going on the road.
No.
You were like, I'm just sticking in town. I'm going to do my thing. And last night I watched the special. I was like, so how long did he tour for? Like 6 months and then put the special? But it actually had been years.
Well, I had shortly after we had our conversation, they had the first Netflix is a Joke Festival. It was in May of 2 years ago.
22, Joe? 22.
And I said on stage, I had like half an hour. So it's like Justin and Friends. I got a bunch of people doing some time. I did 30 minutes, and then I told a story, tried some new things out, like longer form stuff. It did well there, and then never did well again. One of those where you're like, oh my God, I've got a whole new story, and people are like, what do you? This is 10 minutes. But on stage, I'd said, in October of this year will be 20 years that I've been doing stand-up comedy.
Right.
And the crowd cheers, and my agent was in the and he texts me, right? I get off stage and I see a text 20 years old. You got to do it. You got to pick 6 clubs and just do I'm marking 20 years. And so went out with half an hour material, did a couple old jokes, took some questions, and at the end of that 6 weeks of clubs, I was like, you know what? The questions that were being asked then became part of the act. People kept asking what was it like to work with Norm? What was what's your favorite joke? What was your favorite roast joke? And I was like, okay, I've got this now. Now let's book a real tour. I did another 6 months of clubs. and then a year of theaters, and then went international. So it was 2 years total.
Right.
But it was amazing to see the jump from the last tour. You know, places where I would do, you know, 1 show in a smaller theater. Now I'm doing 2 shows in a bigger theater, 4 shows in a bigger theater. Where I think that the last Netflix special, and especially the clips, you know, Instagram, TikTok, that changed things when my audience jumped up. Where I was getting to do much bigger venues, and that really meant the world.
That's
You
amazing.
know, to go out and see that the last one actually was successful, and people want to see what you're doing next, I think was a big,
I think that it took years for you to even know that was going on.
That's, you have to find out. That's you see comments or whatever, but until you go and sell tickets again, you don't know.
No.
And I'm not a guy who's like, specials out Tuesday, tour starts Friday.
Right.
It's like specials out Tuesday. Hope you like it. I'll see you in 3 or 4 years. You know, if I'm lucky.
It's a great. It really is. It's such a refreshing way to go about it, and it proves that patience can pay off. Because I think a lot of people are on this track of get the next one out as quickly as possible. Don't let the momentum stop. But if you put out something good, you can be patient. It actually isn't that you put out something good, just that you put out something great because you let it marinate and really get the time. That's impressive. The last one was 5 years ago.
Yep.
Wow.
Usually it's been like 3 or 4 years, but the pandemic took me out for a year, and I took a little extra time with the tour.
Right.
And as I'm getting older, you know, touring gets a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I thought being sober would be easier. It was in some ways more difficult.
Yeah.
You know, some shows.
How was it more difficult?
Getting to sleep. You know, like getting like you're after the show, you're all jacked up, and I used to like, you know, drink a 6-pack of beer, eat a pizza, go to bed. You're a little hungover in the morning, but you're okay.
Yeah.
And then before that next show, have a couple beers. You know, you're in like Iowa City somewhere, and you're like, this show isn't as big to me as Carnegie Hall.
Right.
Let's have a couple beers, and I'll be a little more smiley. And I just didn't have that. I lost like 30 pounds at this point.
Yeah, you look thinner.
Yeah, I'm putting it back on as I go, but I had to like on the road go buy a new pair of jeans.
Right.
Because I went down in waist size, and it was just
all beer.
It wasn't just beer. It was that I wasn't eating it. You know, you get off stage.
Yeah.
And if you have 2 shows, pizza's your only option. You know.
At midnight.
Yeah. And so I wasn't doing that.
My openers hate me because I don't eat I won't eat late, and they're so hungry.
But that can't be the only reason.
No, there's a lot. Yeah, maybe also I gotta make them watch my act.
Ooh. Why do we pretend they watch? You're gonna come back and have a great set. You're like, come on.
I love them all. One of them said recently, just recently, I really like that bit. He has been in the act for 4 years, and they were like, I really like that. That's new? And I was like, you've been pretending to watch me for 3 years.
I love the compliments that people give that are so misplaced. Like I remember Dr. Ken, who I met at a comedy festival in Vancouver or something, doing a big, or in Toronto, and Dr. Ken's did the show before me. And he comes off stage, he's like, Anthony, you're the greatest comic of all time. I'm here with my friends. They're all like famous actors. He's like, we're gonna watch you. And I'm like, great, thanks, Ken. He sits right on the side of the stage. And his laugh, as you know, is so loud that like that's all I can hear. And I'm like, I'm happy and doing my thing. 20 minutes into the set, they get up and they go to dinner.
Oh no.
And I'm like, that's totally fine. You don't have to watch my act, it's great.
Yeah.
And then he comes back at the end and laughs for the last 5 minutes, and I come off stage and he goes, that was amazing. The whole thing, front to back, was incredible. I'm like, how do you think that I missed your laugh? How do you think that I don't know when you left and when you came back?
Yeah. I mean, comic to comic, that's totally fine. I was at Montreal Festival once, and Jim Brewer was on. You know, sometimes you have like back-to-back headline. You know, he does the 7 o'clock, I do the 9 o'clock, and he had the early one. So I get there early. He's still on, and agents recording him, and he's getting towards the end of his act, and his 2 agents come running in, all sweaty. And they like catch the last 2 minutes of the thing, and they're trying to sign him, and he comes off stage, comes back. Oh my God, agents! What a set! That was amazing. What you did was amazing from the beginning to end. You just had them. I'm just watching the lies come out of their mouths as he's soaking it up as a performer. Like, really? Maybe these guys are all right.
But I don't know about you. I don't believe anyone anymore. The compliments, I'm like, what would you say if it was the worst thing you'd ever seen? Everyone's like, great, amazing special, we love it. Like, it's not until they prove it to me. So Netflix is like, we love it. And I'm like, do you? Like, you have so many specials that I don't know what the fuck you meant.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we wanted to do it Thanksgiving weekend. And I was like, okay, now I believe you.
Right.
If you want to put my fucking dead baby bullshit up against Thanksgiving, then I know you must believe in it. So, yeah, let's go.
All right, well, let me prove that I liked it. It's such an amazing thing that you do, and I literally, since I watched it, I think you're the only one that does it, and I don't know how you do it, and I'd love to know where your brain is. You're one of the only people that, while you're in the act, will talk about the act and talk about the jokes from a distance, and then not lose the spontaneity of being in it. Like, you will comment, I'm saying this more for our listeners, just to clarify for you, but you will say, guys, this joke I came up with doing bum 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 bum, and I'm gonna explain it to you, like even your opener, like I don't want to give stuff away, but I'm gonna explain this joke and I'm gonna talk about it, and then you go into it, and it's the you know, stand up is a trick of making it seem like it's coming off the top of your head.
Yeah.
You have this ability to step back as a narrator of your own act and not lose the spontaneity of the act.
I thank you. I think Gaffigan does that a little bit with the voices, you know, with the commenting on the act.
Yeah,
I think when I do it, it raises the tension. When I'm talking about this joke, like there's one joke where I say, guys, I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you, but this next joke is gonna be too smart for the crowd.
Yeah.
And when I do it when I'm on the road, and nothing comes up in the special, on the road, I'll walk over to the side of the stage where like the sound people are, and I'm like, what? Okay. And then I look at my watch, and I'm like, guys, you guys have been great. I hate to do this to you. And the whole crowd gets so silent because they're like, fuck, what's happening right now? And then I go into it. It's like, it's all just building tension and letting it go. So in that beginning part you're talking about, where I'm commenting on the joke you're about to hear, it's just like raising your expectations of like, what are we in for?
Yeah.
And then you cut the rug out.
Right. And you do it several times throughout the special. It really is so great. It's really like, as someone that's been in comedy forever, it really is like, it's refreshing and fun because you don't see it done.
Thank you.
It really is, because like normally if you were to stop down and be like, guys, I wrote this joke about whatever at this time, the joke would lose a little something because you've taken them out of the, oh, this is all just coming off the top of my head.
Yeah, if you say you're joking, like this is the joke, when I like this joke, they're like, okay, we're expecting a joke, but for somehow my setups put them into a trance.
Yeah.
Where they believe me, like your uncle. Oh, your uncle did, and like not knowing there's a joke coming. Like John Mulaney will say he watches the audience.
Right.
Because I reset them every time where they'll laugh and they'll be like, oh, okay. And so your dad went, and like, oh, another one, like, you know they're coming.
Yeah. The real brilliant stroke though in the writing is that it's all surprising. Like comic to comic, it's so great to, like, you can tell when you watch your Friends and you see a joke coming, you see it coming. You're like, it's gonna be around this area. He's gonna flip it to this. The punchline will be about that. You really are surprising. It really is. The misdirect is.
Thank you.
And that's the writing.
I mean, my goal is to get the comedians second guessing themselves.
Right.
You know, if the comedians are like, fuck, I didn't see that coming, then you know you're good with the audience. Like, have we ever talked about third thought? Like, first, if you're making a joke, first thought is what anyone will come up with. It's like, whatever. Second thought is, okay, I see what you did, but I would have gotten there. You know, I'm trying to guess your joke. And third thought is no one gets it.
Right.
No one would get that, and that's where I try to live. That's like the best joke you can tell.
Yeah.
And they're not all like that, but that's my goal.
Yeah.
That's my end.
Yeah, and I never, was that your concept, third thought?
No, I did not come up with it, but I'm sure I learned it in, I don't know what joke writer or, you know, comedy teacher brought that out, but I was like third thought and second smile.
Right.
That Michael O'Donoghue would talk about where you want them laughing and you want their throats cut.
Right.
At the same time. And I was like, perfect, I'm putting this down. This is great.
It's so good. My favorite joke, I think, which I couldn't do the math on before it showed up, was the baseball, thinking baseball.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was fun to do in Europe where they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Where they were like, what? I don't, we'll laugh at the end of this, but we don't know the baseball terms. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last joke. That was the one joke that once I started the tour, I came up with and put it into the act. Everything else I was like, this is for the next one, but that one I came up with was like, this is a solid piece of work.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really, because you're like, no, don't think, and then you explain. No, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I mean, with the specials, and I'm sure you've seen this, it really is, like, people don't watch the whole special. Netflix will be like, you retained 80% of the audience for 40 minutes. And you're like, well, like my last special, I had this 15-minute story about taking a friend to get an abortion.
Right.
And I was so proud of it.
Yeah.
And no one saw it because people don't watch the whole special.
Really?
So now it's like, what clips go out there? What clips get out there that then become viral, and then we'll go back and see it. But it's just a weird. Comedy's changed so much, and what success is, and what it can be. And in a way, it's gotten easier, but it's just strange. I mean, you came up the way I did, where it was like you got on late.
Yeah.
Comedy Central, premium would be good, half hour would be great.
Yeah.
And then if you got a special, it was like a huge deal because no one had an hour special.
Yeah.
And now everyone does. Late night means nothing.
Zero.
And there is no Comedy Central. Like it really is just, it's podcasting and getting a special out there. And there's specials that they put on YouTube. They'll be just as successful as something that's on HBO or Netflix because of the engagement and the clips.
Yeah. The clips are huge.
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 I'm lucky that I'm like designed for the clips. Like I started social media 2 years ago. My agent was like, you need it now. I had Twitter and I hated it, but I was off Instagram, off TikTok because you need it. So I hired a team. I was like, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I'm not gonna make anything because I see how that makes you crazy.
Yeah.
If you work all day in a video and edit it and it doesn't get engagement, you're depressed, and I understand why.
Right.
But if they take a clip of something I did 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and put the joke up and really do well, I don't care at all.
No. You don't have
And
to
we've been
post it
able
or
to build-
caption it, or just somebody else just does it.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna like, that one did well, that one didn't.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the joke that I've slaved over them. I mean, this isn't a brilliant joke. Does not get the engagement of me telling Adam Ray that my least favorite sound is children crying.
Right.
Like that clip will get billions of views and all this engagement, and the joke doesn't do it. You have to just let that go.
Yeah, let it go.
This is what
Because some of it
technology does.
literally is like the time of day that they posted it, and what else was being posted. Like it literally, it's you can't. There's no figuring it out. So why try?
But I definitely feel more famous now than I ever have because of the clips.
Yeah.
Like in 2013, I had a TV show. I had my first special. There were billboards. The subway in New York is my picture everywhere. And I felt like, I don't know who you are, but I know you're famous if I get a picture. And that was weird to me. And now with the clips, it's flight attendants.
Right.
And I love the clips. And it's not even my account. It's like other comedy accounts posting clips.
Right.
That it just comes up in your
I know.
But it feels like, oh, I'm a clip star.
Yeah.
That's a weird place to find yourself.
Yeah.
In your mid-40s.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all the same, really. It's just different ways of using it.
But like my Comedy Central days, people don't even know the used to be like I was known for the roast.
Yeah.
And in the new special, I talked about roasters. And I'm like, I roasted Donald Trump, Charlie Sheen, Roseanne, and they don't know what I'm talking about.
All the greats.
Yeah, they don't know what I'm talking. They're like, you did. When was this? Is it on Netflix? No, it's like only the Netflix specials have meant anything.
Yeah.
This is funny.
It is really funny. Do you like the process of this, of like when it's over, of going back to the Comedy Store and noodling around and?
I like writing the new stuff because it's like I have to get to start from scratch.
Yeah.
You know, in the every special I build up like a mythology.
Yeah.
You know, I kill off a grandparent. You know, my mom's sick. You know, in the next special, everyone's alive and well. You know, no one's married. I can do whatever I want. So I can do whatever I want.
Right.
But I'm gonna wait till the end of the year. And then just try to go up at like Largo and see what I really have.
Right.
And then start to whittle it down and come up with the new.
So how are you spending your time when you're not doing stand-up?
Right now, I've just been like resting.
Yeah.
Like I got back a couple weeks ago, I had to jump right into press.
Yeah.
I'm doing this big, like, long profile with New York Magazine, where, like, the team talked to me before I went to Europe. I just gotten back from India with food poisoning.
Oh no.
And I'm, like, dying.
What happened?
I did Australia, which is a kick in the dick of just getting off that flight and dealing with, like, a week of that jet lag.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think it was Sydney Opera House.
Oh wow.
And it was incredible. Like an incredible experience. Finally got to New Zealand after like the controversy from like 10, 15 years ago. I did the stuff I did on my first TV show, Belgium at the Belgium. We did the thing about we still like 100 million plus TV. We still have 6 countries. But we see it there. We've been sitting down from 12 to 5. We're going to celebrate. And bring up all these factors. And the guy from New Zealand got eaten. And we like I had like a shark dancers come out, we did this big whole production, and then we showed the guy's picture at the end. And I was like, smile, you son of a bitch, shark party, and New Zealand went crazy. Like, they don't know who I am. So it was like the clip went out international, and they're like, what the fuck is this? This guy just died. You're doing this? And so it was like a big deal for years. And then I finally went and performed. And I thought, like, do I need security? And they're like, no. It was like 3 assholes who got mad. Like, we're happy you're here. Thanks for coming.
Did you feel it at the time? Did it feel like a thing? Did you feel under attack?
It felt like a thing where in America no one knew about it, no one cared, but my boss's bosses at Comedy Central were very upset. Viacom International was getting phone calls about this from New Zealand. Like, what the fuck? We did what?
Yeah.
But it was like, no one knows I'm in trouble, but my bosses are mad.
Right.
You know, which it's like, if you get in a fight with one of your friends, and you can go complain to one of your other friends, you can get it off your chest.
Right.
But if you get in a fight with one of your friends and you don't have any other friends in common, you're on your own.
Right.
You know, get it there.
I was supposed to do New Zealand, right? That was the last gig that was canceled before the pandemic. I'd never been there before. I was so excited to finally go. I've never been to Australia. I was so excited to go, and it was like the clock was just ticking. Like, I think I'm still going. You know, I'm going.
Australia was great. New Zealand was great. I did Taipei, Hong Kong, and Tokyo.
Oof.
And they could not have cared less about American comedy. Like, the show was fun, but it was like you're doing thousands of people every night, and then it's like 400 people who are kind of just being polite.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't know if I'll do this again.
Yeah.
And then India was crazy.
So what happened with the food poisoning?
Someone's very careful with me. Like, it's like the promoter is like, I'm going to be with you at every meal to make sure you do not get sick.
Okay.
Like, you got to be very careful here. And then like the last day, they're like, do whatever you want. But I'm like, I still have these flights. You know, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And I ate, I believe it was like the one thing I ate on my own was just like a sandwich I got at the room service, like the day of the last show. Like
Room
like
service?
and it was a nice hotel.
Yeah.
It's like a lamb sandwich or something.
Oh no.
And I just didn't feel right. And then the flight back.
Oh no.
It's like a 5-hour flight. And we finished the last show, we got 2 hours.
Yeah.
They make us eat with them again, Thai food, and it was great. And then go to the airport at like 4 a.m, fly to Dubai, and then Dubai to America. And I am throwing up the whole way.
Oh.
And I got like the really nice seat, like the extra night. Yes, I got the booth. And it's like
Emirates.
Yeah. And it's the guy, the flight kind of being like, hey, I'm like trying to hold down toast.
Just throwing up the whole way.
And he couldn't hold down water. I'm like, I know. And then for like 2 weeks, I was just like out of it. Out of it.
After all, that was like your last international stop?
Then I had a month to recover, and then I went to Europe. And Europe was easier because it was like every other day was a show.
Right.
Whereas in Asia, it was like a week
to
do this one show. You're like, I did in Taipei. I'm just sitting in a hotel.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed me for that.
Oh, it's brutal. I baked you this bread, by the way.
You did? You baked it?
Yeah, this morning.
So the last time you gave me a loaf, you had bought it, and it was delicious.
Yeah. This will probably be better.
I believe it. Is it sourdough?
Yeah.
Because my new thing, and it's not my new thing, is beans and toast.
Oh, that's
I
good.
go to the farmer's market, I get a couple dozen eggs, I get a loaf of, and I get like
Yeah.
People don't know about it. It's like it's in tomato sauce.
Yeah.
You put that on some toast, and it's so good. I will definitely cut this up and
I'm very happy.
eat it with bread.
Yeah. Actively, but I know it's just as your friend you would think.
It was like I was losing weight, and I felt good because I was dealing with back issues the whole tour. Where sitting up like this was pure. Like the whole day.
Yeah.
And then do sitting down was miserable for the I'm like, fuck, I lost that much weight? Like, I didn't know it got that bad.
Yeah.
But on camera.
Yeah, here's a trick for travel. My sister told me, and it seems to work from my body. You are done. Lie down on the floor, the hard floor, for 15 minutes. Now, some give. Just lay on the flat floor.
Try that. I'll try that. I've had every kind of chiropractor, every kind of flying instructor, and like, you don't realize, you know when you get like a good one, you're like, oh, I've been for the last year, and I'm like, I've been like hurting me, and this woman knows what she's doing. With this chiropractor, butchered did the thing where he like pulls the leg.
Oh God.
And it hurt, and then it like never, it was like my hip was out of joint.
Forever.
Like it sucked so bad.
You ever read the Dr. Sino?
Everyone talks about it. I just and I believe in it, but it was just like I grind my teeth at it, and that's what leads to heaven. You know, it's like I
But
fight
that's
as
also
hard as
this-
I can.
Great.
But I'm worried about where's it coming out? Because I'm a pretty chill guy.
Well, the
You
cool
know?
thing about it is that you don't have to feel it. You just recognize it. Your brain doesn't want to deal with oh, I can't lift my arm because I have tension. Well, and that's recognizing it.
What I love about that book is that it's caused so many fights. It's really hurting. It's all in your head.
I know.
Read this book. It's all in your head. You're dumb.
I know.
And I was like, no, I'm in pain. And you're like, no.
I was in such
Fine.
pain. I was at the Comedy Cellar. I could not lift my carry-on over. It was that bad. And Greg Rogel at the Comedy Cellar tells me, have you read the Sarno book? No, I never heard of it. It was 8 years ago or something. And he's like, I'm telling you, it's in your. It really helps. It's in your brain. And no, you're the comedy song. That bullshit. That doesn't not you just thinking about it. And you're doing action. You know, you're all like that. You don't know what you're talking working at a summer camp? You do this in New York?
That is,
season?
I don't know who photoshopped that, but
What do you mean?
they put in 2 extra kids.
What?
Yeah, that is me at a summer camp.
Uh-huh.
For kids about to get molested.
Oh wow! They don't even know it's coming.
I mean, there are pictures of me with children on the internet you can find, like nieces and nephews and godchildren, but went that route.
And what about this route? I guess this is community theater. I guess when you often stand up and you quote unquote working on jokes. Is this you and Annie? Did you?
Is that Annie? Yeah, that's me in the movie Annie, with the original cast of the movie, and I'm just walking through the scene.
I guess.
Yeah. Again, great job, guys. The scale there is better.
So, do you really want children of your own?
I do not. I'm very happy. I made it to a point in my life where I'm just thrilled I made it. There's always that like, oh hey, here's a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, let's see if we can deal with it. And now it's like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. I couldn't imagine what would have to come into my life that I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do this. And I love my nieces and nephews. I love my godchildren. I'm interested in their lives. But the lack of fear that I have, that I assume all parents must have, is not something that I feel like I'm missing out on, or that I worry about. Like, I get it. I get wanting to have a kid, and I get being obsessed with your kid and wanting all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's not something that keeps me up at night.
The fear would keep you up at night. And my daughters are older, they're 19 and 22. And I was talking with my daughter yesterday on the phone. She's in New York. And we had a conversation, then I called her back. She was on her way home, she said. And I hear, she picks up, she goes, hello? And I hear in the background subway chatter. And I hear a guy go, who's that pretty? And doop, the phone goes off. Who's that pretty? And I do the Find My Friends, and I can't, she hasn't moved. Like, the phone hasn't left the station. And for 2 hours, I'm just like, not telling my wife how worried I am. And her phone died and she went to the movies.
Yeah, always. Always. But yeah, and that's like a rational fear.
Yeah.
But even just waking up in the morning. Like, where are they? What are they doing? Like, what did they sleep last night? Like, that fear, I think, it never goes away, and I do not.
Yeah.
I do not envy people who do that.
Yeah. You still have your dog?
Still my dog.
Nice.
And the dog is like, that's how I know I don't want kids, because the dog is the dog's almost 5 years old. And he's one of those dogs that lives to like 18, 19 years old, and I'm like, oh, like, I can't really travel until this dog dies. You know, there's no way I'm giving him up. I have a full-time assistant I got for the road so that they can watch the dog while I'm gone.
Oh, nice.
Because he can't go to a kennel. He can barely go to a vet. You know, he's one of those where he's just like terrified.
He's too smart.
I think it's smart, and I think that there's the vet has told me that those dogs that come from Korea, that like they get rescued and then shipped over here, are always very nervous and scared. And I get it. Being put in a crate and put underneath a jet on the way from Korea to LA has got to be. It's got to fuck you up, and he's a special guy.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot to deal with. Like, if someone wants to come to my place, come over to my condo, I have to get the dog. The assistant has to take the dog and get them out, because he's too protective.
Oh, really?
So I've got like, I amassed all this art during the pandemic where I got really into art, and no one has seen it. Like, no one has seen any of it.
Come to your house.
Yeah. And then I had the reporter from the New York Magazine came over. I had the dog get out, and she's looking at the art, and she's like, why do you have this? Why do you have this? All this art's like fucked up. Like, it's like a picture of like a baby that looks like it's falling down the stairs. I'm like, well, that's just funny. Like, it looks like a funny picture. It's like, well, this one's like a fire escape collapsing. I'm like, this is a Pulitzer Prize winning photograph. It's like, yeah, but they're about to die. I'm like, yeah, but it's still beautiful. I'm like, this one's a woman breastfeeding and she's smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like, you know, it's like an anti-domesticity. And she's like writing up all this down. I'm like, some of these were gifts. I have other rooms in the house that have like water towers and shit. Like, it's not all this like horrifying art, but I do like that stuff. I do enjoy
A clown with a tear coming down.
I don't know if you're an art guy. I went in and I like started getting like I'm working with the DJ. I bought a couple pieces. And so now they get in touch with me and they're like, you gotta see this new artist, you gotta see this guy. I'll check things out, I just like to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm in there and I'm like, this 24-year-old, up and coming. I'm looking at something, that's interesting. I'm like, what's this? I'm like, oh, this was a picture of a Jewish costume party where this photo was used to try to show that the Jews were in the occult during World War II. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what's this? And like, that was eugenics, where they were measuring the heads of Jewish children, Aryan children too. And I'm like, tell me more about this artist. And like, he's 24, he's really like, and I'm like,
what?
I think you're showing me anti-Semitic art. Like, I don't believe that he's trying to say something about this. Like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Because at first glance, you're like, oh, that's cool. It looks weird and gothic. And it's like, oh, no. This guy is saying something that you don't want to hear.
Ew, that is creepy.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Because you hear there's famous authors where you're like, oh, they were famously anti-Semitic. And it's like, okay, I can still read War and Peace. You know, I don't know who, like if Tolstoy was or whoever, but when it's real art like that, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't get behind.
Gunter Grass, you know that German
I
writer?
know the name.
Wrote The Rat and a couple other things, and then it came out at the end of his life that he might have been in the Nazi Party. And he's like, you know, big award-winning writer. And movies, like if you hear like someone's in trouble, you know, like I'll watch Woody Allen. I don't, you know, I couldn't read any more of his books. I couldn't. It's because I think a book is so immersive.
Yeah.
You're so in there. It was like Nazi. you can't stop thinking about it every time you're finish a sentence.
No. Yeah, I read Woody Allen's autobiography, his like, latest book.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, like I'm Team Woody. I'm in there, and then the documentary came out with the daughter in it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not touch that.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. Well, they went to lie detectors and this. It's like that Ian Edwards joke. You know that Ian Edwards joke with Michael Jackson.
So good, so good. The best compliment I can give someone is I wish I had thought of that joke.
Yeah.
I told him that to his face.
Yeah. It's so good. I will never watch that documentary.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the Woody doc. Does your taste in movies and stuff skew darker?
Yes, if I can find it. It's just harder to find now with the movie businesses that everything is, if not a Marvel movie, they're designed for that broad audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I like, there's a movie that came out this year. Have you heard of The Coffee Table?
No.
The Coffee Table is a Spanish dark horror comedy movie. Where I'm gonna spoil this for you because
I'll forget.
Because parents will never want to watch it. But mom and dad come home, they have a brand new baby. Mom goes out, they're about to entertain company. Mom goes out, the husband has an accident, drops the baby heads. He just puts the baby back in the crib, he's in shock. And then people come over for the party and they're like, where's the baby? He's like, wait, let's let the baby sleep. You know, and so the comedy comes from people just being like all joyous and not knowing what's happening. But for an hour and a half, it is insanely tense. Insanely tense. That was like my movie. That was like my absolute favorite. But most things are, like, I like The Substance.
Yeah.
You know, I liked Maxine this year.
Right. What about older films?
Older films, I mean, it depends on how old. You know,
Turner classic, kind of old, 40s old.
I can watch them and enjoy them for what they are,
Yeah.
but I don't know how really dark they get, especially when they had, back then they had like the code.
Yeah.
They had to go by and you couldn't really show a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's more like Fate, you know, gets me. One of the best movies of the year wasn't dark at all, which was what was the Japanese film? Wim Wenders directed it. Anybody?
Exuma?
No. Perfect Day. Yeah, Perfect Day is like you'll just be watching this movie and then you will just cry your eyes out at the end. Like
Really?
it is a beautiful movie, not sad,
Right.
but just about life.
Wow.
That was incredible. So I like the movies that kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah.
But I can't take the, newest movie of the week. It's just
Yeah.
it's too, now it's made for a global audience.
I know.
So you have to take off all the edges, even in the dialogue. The dialogue is simplified, and I can't be. Show me like I'd rather see an interesting failure. I'd rather watch Megalopolis,
Right.
which I probably will not do, than watch some of these movies that are.
I saw him on Colbert talking about it. It was intriguing.
In what way?
Just that he was trying to do something. And he was just trying to do something beyond what he had built his career on.
And listen, that's great. Okay, like, I applaud you for doing that.
Yeah.
But you could also make it good.
Yeah.
And I heard it, if it was like, hey, this is good, but it's not you, it's like, okay, that's fine. But I hear it is terrible. People who like want to go in and see, like, did you ever see Beau is Afraid?
No.
It's insane. It's a fucking insane. It's like a 3-hour panic attack. 3.5 hours. I saw it in IMAX, and I loved every second of it because it was just batshit that it was in theaters at all, much less in IMAX. And I was like, walked out and like, I can't recommend this to anyone, but I loved it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Megalopolis is going to be the same.
No. There's literally not one person saying a nice thing.
Not one.
I know.
Not one.
It's brutal. You talk in this special about cancel culture, and what's so nice is that, like all of your jokes, they're so great because of the economy of words, and it was so nice to see that subject, which has been talked about ad nauseum, in just 2 lines, sum up exactly. It was perfect.
I mean, talking about cancel culture has become so hacked.
Yeah.
And people who have no fear of cancel culture are complaining about it.
Yeah.
That I think it sickens me. And I think people want comedy to be dangerous. I want comedy to be dangerous. And if you can't get in trouble, it's not dangerous.
Right.
So complaining about cancel culture is just saying you want to take all of the danger out of it. You want it to be easy for you.
Right.
But I think as soon as I say it, people cheer.
Yeah.
And as journalists, it's like, why do you think people are cheering? Do you think they believe you you're about to talk about cancel culture? Do you think they are sick of cancel culture? And I'm like, no, they're way more savvy than that. They've seen the first 40 minutes of the special. They know I'm not suddenly turning into Ricky Gervais.
Right.
Like they get that I'm about to subvert this in some way.
Yeah.
But I hate people complaining about cancel culture. I hate comics complaining in general. It's the second comedy boom. It's not going anywhere. People are making more money than ever before. And Dave Chappelle, who's won every award in the world, is complaining that cancel culture is making his job harder. It's like, your job shouldn't be easy. If you're gonna make that much fucking money, like, hey, maybe it should be a little hard. I got no issue with that.
I love that line. You're a comedian. Do your job. It's just so perfect.
Yeah.
Really. You have the great line about just shitty comics trying to get on Rogan by saying that you're fighting this cause. It's like, what's the cause?
It's become like I think it's kind of groupthink, and I'm surprised that I'm attacked by saying cancel culture is not a thing. That people that just not parroting what every other comic is saying would somehow be seen as treasonous and not as an individual. Like, I have my own thoughts.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
and I would be way more successful. And I'd have way more money if I did complain about cancel culture. If I went the other way that a lot of these guys go, and I think it's stupid, and I'm happy to fight about it.
Yeah.
I think it's good for comedy when 2 comics are at odds or talking shit on each other. I think it's good for the art form.
Yeah.
But now everyone's got to be friends.
Right.
You've got to worry about what Joe thinks about these things.
Yeah.
And have Joe mediate fights. And I like Joe, but I don't get the whole stand-up comedy. I got into it because you got to do it by yourself.
Right.
You go on stage alone.
Yeah, with your audience.
Yeah. So he's like, well, let's get a group together. I never understood it.
I know, I'm the same way. I have a real hard time with it. I don't want to be a part of a club.
No.
And what's so ironic is that if you're not in step with every aspect of what they're talking about, then they kick you out. Well, how anti-comedy is that?
Yeah.
You know what I
You're a
mean?
pussy because you don't think the way we all think.
Right.
It's like, how is that?
Yes,
Shouldn't I
exactly.
be celebrated for thinking differently? Is that the
Exactly.
point of comedy?
Yeah.
Is to think differently from everyone else?
Yeah, isn't that why we're all friends in the first place? Because we think differently.
Yeah. It's strange. It's strange, but you know it'll change.
Yeah, it was cool also to see the audience response to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking in the first mention when you just say cancel culture or let's talk about cancel culture. I forget how you said it, and there is a little applause. I guess this is what the
I
journalist.
say I'm against cancel culture.
I'm against cancel culture.
Yeah.
And there is an applause, and I was trying to interpret I watched it twice because that part just to see.
It's them
What
playing
the
along.
temper was.
We maybe even sweeten it 'cause people know what I'm doing, but you'll get in some places I had to like yell it 3 times.
Yeah.
To get the cheer and then be like, all right, and occasionally you get it right away. You're
Right.
like, oh great. And then it
Yeah.
feels stupid.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was a segment of the audience that was just used to cheering against cancel culture.
I think it's because I yell it.
Mm.
You know, I talk so in the same tone that if I like yell something, it gets your attention. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to clap here.
Right.
This is important that I clap for this.
Right.
Yeah, but I can't believe that they think I'm really about to start complaining about. You can't say anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone who's saying that is saying it into a microphone for millions of people.
I know.
Like, which is wild. Like when comics talk about freedom of speech, like you're censoring us by saying that we shouldn't joke about like. Everyone has freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Everyone in the country. No one buys a ticket to hear how free your speech is. Like they want to hear you laugh and do an act, but but I never got that.
Yeah. It was. I mean, there are real world consequences for things that you say. You can, I had a show canceled off of one joke, and but that was because my joke was in my act, and this was a corporate run entity. It was a news organization, and they had a problem with this one joke, and they stripped the whole project. And so there is a canceling that happened there.
Sure.
But it's totally my choice of whether or not I talk about these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't have everything.
Right.
Like I'll get it. Like, oh, Anthony's a liberal because he wants to work in Hollywood. I don't work in Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been in a movie. I've never been in a TV show.
Yeah.
No one will ever use me to advertise any product. Like that. Just all my jokes are about dead babies. Like, there's no way I'm making any extra money. This is just what I do.
Yeah.
These are the thoughts that I have. But the idea that I'm trying to somehow insinuate myself. With Hollywood is hilarious to me because like. They're not high. They can't.
They can't.
When I was shopping the special around, I remember I had a meeting with one streaming service that was like, "We're getting into it. We're doing this," and I was like, "Great, you should start with me." I would say Netflix didn't start with Chappelle; they started with Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get my specials, got newsworthy stuff. Clips are gonna go viral.
Mm-hmm.
Like, use me. People are gonna talk about it, and you got something. They're like, "Great," and they went and saw it that weekend, and they go, "We can't." We just can't.
We can't.
We can't even bid on it. We can't do it. Like we can't do anything. And I was like, thanks for telling me. Like I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Like if you had gone down the road.
Yeah.
And then said, actually, we got to lose this one thing. Then I'm furious.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just say, hey, we can't, then great.
Yeah.
Like I was doing when I was going through Asia. I was going to do a show in Singapore, and right like a week before, they're like, actually, the government came back with your transcript, and here's what you can't say. And it was just highlighted, and it was a lot.
Well, yeah.
For me, it was a lot. Where I'm like, I can't work around this.
Yeah.
We have to cancel the show. But the idea of going into Singapore punk rock would be wild to me. Like to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go and see what happens. Like, I'm not doing that for this people.
No.
Yeah.
I did Dubai once, and in Dubai they have a safe zone in like the town square, and like within this zone there's more freedom to say what you want to say, and even that was highly restrictive. Like, outside of it, a couple had gotten arrested, boyfriend and girlfriend, for holding hands on the street like, as we were landing, and so like their freedom was not anywhere. It was just like, I want to go home. I'd like to go home, so I don't have to. They don't need to hear my take on nipples.
I was gonna do Dubai once. I was on tour with Chris Rock. It was 2018, something like that, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Dubai on the schedule. And then I got worried about Dubai. My agent tells me, what do you mean? Like, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
And we're worried you're gonna get in trouble and get arrested. And I was like, well, tell me what I can't say. I'm only doing 12 minutes opening for him. Like, I can adjust. And they're like, we don't know. But like,
Right.
everyone in Dubai is breaking the law at all times. And just like, who gets reported on? Who do they decide?
That's right.
You can flick off a cab driver and spend 20 years in jail. You just don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, well, what is Chris gonna do? And I go, Chris Rock can do whatever he wants. You can't. And I go, you never should have told me that. Because now I feel like I have to go do this. And then Chris canceled Dubai.
Oh, he did.
And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to. I don't want to be like. I want to be welcomed wherever I am. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like, he's like. I leave. I don't want people to get in trouble for being in my show.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
it's not that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a funny thing that because you're so defined as being talking about dead babies or whatever that people expect what they expect. They know what they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except for the streamer on that day one.
Yeah.
So you kind of like can live in that, and everyone has that expectation. Like, because my comedy is so family oriented, and I talk about family and stuff, I almost have more to lose by pushing a little bit, because my audience is like, why are you talking about that?
Oh yeah, you have to be.
You know what I mean?
And I follow your career and your act, and when you get edgy, it's a different kind of edgy. But I know it's like, it's just as edgy as what I'm doing, only you do it in a palatable way. Like, with your joke about dropping your last daughter off at college, and how difficult it is to pretend you're sad.
Right.
That is a dark joke. The audience goes nuts because they're like, yes, we get rid of our kids, but it's like your version of it.
Right.
You know, no one's getting hurt in that joke, but it is like it's not nice.
Right.
You know, it's not like a nice thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever do a thing where, because Gaffigan has talked about this a long time ago, where he said, Gaffigan was like, I love dark jokes, you know, but I also like telling jokes about bacon, and you can't do both.
Right.
You know, so I had to choose, do I go light or do I go dark?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I chose dark. I can't joke about bacon.
Right.
You know, ever.
Yeah.
I can have some kind of silly jokes, but nothing really dark. Did you ever have that where you were like, because you obviously like dark jokes, but did you ever think, like, by going this so family oriented, I have to leave that behind? Or do you try to kind of bring them together?
Yeah, no, I knew that family, like when I was first starting and to be at the Cellar following Attell and Nick DiPaolo, and I was like, oh, I've got to be dark, you know. This is the beginning of my career, and I don't live that way. I'm not that. So to pretend that I was, the audience was like, we just met you, but we're not buying.
Yeah,
this.
we don't get it.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I just decided not to watch any of it and just talk about what I wanted to talk about. And that's when it all started to click, when I no longer, at that period, I wouldn't watch Attell before he went on. I wouldn't watch anybody. I'd just stay in my bubble with blinders on and just talk the way I want to talk.
Now, is there any comic you watch now? Like, and not just before your set, but like, is there anyone that you watch their special where you're like, or are you just trying to stay out of it and do your own thing? Because that's fascinating. to
Now
me
I
at this
can
point.
now I can watch people.
Okay.
Now I can watch because I'm 30 years in. I know what it's not going to alter or change anything.
Like, I like to watch specials because it makes me think, like, oh, here's how I would do this. Like, the first 15 minutes of my new special is a trans bit that is a direct response to Dave Chappelle. Like,
Right.
a direct. You know, there's certain things that are like, I saw a comic do this, that means I'm doing this.
Right. Right.
But I don't, while I'm on tour, I don't really watch things. I'm afraid I'm going to see a joke.
Yeah.
It's too much like mine. I don't want to deal with it. But I'll watch a lot now.
Right.
But I want to stay away from the scene of it all. Like, things, especially in the podcast arena, will make me mad. And it's like, why do I even know about this?
Yeah.
Why do I even know? I don't have to know.
I know.
I want to just get away from what the rest of, and just show up at the store, show up at Largo, show up at the Improv, and just do my set.
Yeah.
And
get
watch
in the car.
specials, but then just get out of there
I
and not
know.
worry about what everyone else is doing. Because I think I'd be happier.
You'd be happier, and I think your work is better. I think your work you're more unique if you don't. Like, I love comedy. You know, my radio show, I'm dealing with comics all the time, and so I'll check out what they're doing and stuff. But yeah, there's that, you really kind of have to live on your own. You have to be on your own to create something that's unique and original.
I mean, things will make me mad in comedy that I've gotten over. I've almost like taken my time, where it's like, the new crowd work thing, where everyone's doing crowd work and they're filming everything and they're putting it up right away. I'm like, I've stopped doing crowd work altogether. I used to take questions at the end of my set, and now I don't. You know, like, I hate this so much. And then I realized I'm old. Like, I'm old, and the new generation has to do this.
Yeah.
So just leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
fair
so much
thing.
the older guys doing it. It's like, this is what they have to do to get, like, to get viral and to get the attention. Whereas before, it's like, just get in with Comedy Central.
Right.
You know, just keep doing their showcases.
Right.
And you'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Where now it's this. So I'm like, okay, let me let that go.
Yeah.
And not be mad about it. But
Yeah.
it takes a while.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I know really successful comics who will call me and bitch about the trends at times. These are very successful people, and it always surprises me they're even paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you're in the NFL, you're gonna watch what other people are doing. You know, like, you got to keep an eye on it to some degree, I guess.
I think there's just so much money in it that you can't avoid it.
Mhm.
And there's some things that I think are very strange. And so I'm happy to be called a hater.
Mhm.
But there's someone who gets, like, just out of nowhere gets super famous. Okay. And all these comics, friends of ours, are like, want to have them on the podcast, sit down and be like, you've always been such a hard worker. It's so great to see. And it's like, how about you give that person the same energy you gave them before they got famous? They haven't changed at all, other than now they have a huge following. You didn't think they were anything before, and all of a sudden you're just like, amazing what you're doing. You're so great at it. And it's like, that to me is weird.
Yeah.
But that's just the money that's involved. 'Cause you
Yeah.
kind of have to absorb that and make it part of your
Right.
brand.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I do feel like I should, just for curiosity's sake, look at people who are younger. There are definitely, like, there is a stratus of young comics who I have no idea who they are.
No, it's so hard to find an opener when I'm going on tour
I
again. So I'm
know.
like, who is?
I know.
At first,
I think it's being out of the loop of that. Like, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In a good way. It's like, you're at the store. I don't want to hang out with like the 20-year-olds. Like, I can't get involved in your drama.
Yeah.
So on this tour, when I go to clubs, I'm like, I'm gonna let the clubs pick.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go by myself.
Yeah.
Just show up, and the club's gonna pick. And I said, I want a female opener and a female MC.
Right.
Great. And the first club they took me to, San Jose Improv, the two girls hated each other. Like, had some beef. And I didn't know this going in, but I could tell there's a tension in the green room. I'm like, whatever. MC goes up, does great. Middle act goes up and bombs. And I'm like, guys, I'm gonna pay them both the same. You gotta flip.
Yeah.
Like, have the girl one MC. And that caused a meltdown.
Oh no.
But then I had to fire the girl who had gotten demoted, and it was like a huge thing in the scene where it was like rumors of like sexual favors to do. And I'm like, oh my god. Now I'm not just bringing an MC, a feature act, I'm bringing an MC. So I'm gonna deal with their bullshit anymore. That it's terrifying having to find.
Yeah, it's
some of the
hard.
young kids. And now, have you heard of clowning?
No.
Clowning is the new fucking thing, where like stand-up comedy is hack now.
Oh god.
Jokes are hack. You got to do clowning, where you go up and you just like tell people the worst thing that's ever happened to you for 10 minutes. It sounds so bad. It sounds so bad. And places like the Elysian Theater, that's what they want to do. That's like all the new kids coming up want to do clowns.
Wow.
And then like you'll get a half-hour show at Edinburgh one year.
Right.
But it's all about like there's no jokes. It's just your deepest, darkest shit. And I can't believe it's a thing.
Yeah, I know. And my knee-jerk reaction is, well, that's not comedy, but maybe it is for them. That's all right. Let them do it.
The argument of what is and what isn't comedy, isn't it comedy? Is it this? Are you standing on stage with a microphone?
Right.
It's comedy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're not laughing. Maybe it's not good.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you need to gatekeep what is and isn't stand-up.
Yeah, exactly. That's just you trying to make yourself feel okay. Like, but what I'm doing still relevant, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We do another thing on this program.
Is this good as that Photoshop thing? Who's in charge, by the way? Who did the Photoshop?
Neither of them. It's an outside source.
I would believe that you did it yourself.
I didn't. My daughter in Brooklyn, who I thought got attacked on the train, she did it.
What is she studying?
Photoshop. This is called a taste test. I spent a lot of time baking this for you, and I got home from the store last night, and this morning I put it in. But we also tried garbage together that we find at 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And today we would like to try, I don't know if you have these at home, this is a bugle, Tabasco flavored bugle.
Look, I'm a fan of the bugle. And in Europe, somewhere along the line, they were chocolate-covered bugles. They weren't called chocolate-covered bugles. It was something else. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't have enough bugle. It's all covered in chocolate, so you're just eating chocolate with a little crunch. But I'm looking forward to a Tabasco bugles. This is not a bad.
All right, good. I'm glad you're excited about it. I love, being on the road and stopping in the weird places. Ooh, weird smell.
Yes, do you get the Tabasco smell?
Uh-huh. Right now I'm getting all bugle.
Yeah, you get like a spicy aftertaste, but it's just bugle.
At the end. Oh, at the end. Growing at the end. That's hot.
I prefer it to regular bugle.
Uh-huh.
This makes me want to have regular bugles. A little Tabasco thing is a little dip.
Yeah. It's too chemically of the Tabasco. They're just messing with the heat, but it doesn't have that little flavor. But yet, I'm eating 4 in a row. Not bad.
Yeah, tell your daughter, good job on this.
My daughter had nothing to do with that part.
Okay. What school she going to?
She went to Vassar.
Oh, nice.
And now she's an adult in New York, finding her way. You know Dave Hill?
Yeah.
Media Dave Hill? I'm directing his off-Broadway show, and she's helping with that.
Oh, cool.
She's getting into it, building her tribe.
Cool.
Finding her friends. Who are your friends, your early friends?
My friends, early friends kind of out here, because I was in New York or LA, but I thought LA I could live with no money better than New York. New York was scary. So I came here.
I'm sweating, by the way, from the bugle.
It's okay. Sweat it out, man.
Thanks.
This is counting. My friends were like open micers who now no longer do it. If I see them, it's like an awkward thing of like, you made it, like we didn't. And then I moved to New York for like 2 or 3 years to write on Fallon. My friends were kind of like people who were coming up my level. A lot of people from Chicago, like Camille Nanjiani, TJ Miller, John Mulaney, Pete Holmes, guys like that. And they all moved to LA around the same time I did. And now, like, I never see any of those people.
No.
They've either like been canceled and are gone back in New York, or they're movie stars, and they're always going off and doing some crazy thing. You don't get to see your friends unless you're at a comedy festival. And even now, most of my friends don't do stand up the way that I do. Like for doing a 2-year tour is like this is my life. I don't have other side projects. It's like this is the thing that I have to make as much money as I can, because then it's 3 years before I can work again. And my other friends are doing TV stuff and producing and writing and all kinds of like different things.
Do they come to you at all with TV things? Do people ever like, or just like I could see you being like a role in like a cool film or like that kind of stuff?
I would be happy to. If someone was like, hey, we want you for this part, I'm happy to show up and I can do a good job. Auditioning is not my thing.
No.
The last audition I ever went on was for New Girl, for Schmidt. And the guy goes, and they're like, this is going to be a big show, it's going to be a big hit show. They went for this one part, so check it out. Everyone's rooting for Schmidt. And the guy they got is great. But they go, Anthony, that was great. Can you do it faster? This is a sitcom. I know your timing, but can you do it faster? And I go, no. Like, I know what makes me funny. I know the funniest way I can say this. If you want it done differently, get someone different. Have you ever been auditioning for something and you're imagining the person who should get the job?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's when you know you're not getting it. Like, that's when you know it's not happening. Like, unless I'm like, this is for me, that's like the director's gonna be like, Anthony, I want you for this. I'm happy to do it. But I'm not going to like chase it down. Even like seeing Mark Maron's success now.
I was just gonna say, Mark.
He was like, I'm gonna do this. And you could see the early ones where it's not as good. And then all of a sudden it clicks for him, like around the time of Glow. And now he's just like an actor. Where you're like, oh, you're putting in great performances. And if I could get there, sure, but I don't want to do I don't want to take the class. I'm not doing the exercises.
Yeah. No, but it seems like you're such a distinct voice. It could easily be.
I thought I would do voice work, and no one's ever come to me for that.
Yeah.
Hosting is still a thing that kind of comes up here and there. I hosted like a pilot for Comedy Central, where they're like, we need to make something. Would you do this pilot where I'm kind of like the judge? It's like a roast games thing, and I'm just the judge.
Right.
This is very easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like, is it worth sitting up here to this cheesy thing? Like it felt weird that I think even those days are over.
Yeah.
Just like taking something for the paycheck.
I know.
When you just would rather not do it.
Yeah, I know. Those are they're difficult, especially now that comedians have so much freedom. It's like you don't have to do a game show. Like
no,
you used to have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
Now it's like no, you can kind of just build your own little company. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah, it's almost dumb to have a TV show.
Yeah, I know.
You're losing, viewership.
Yeah, I know. These comics that would end up with a big show on network TV, not playing themselves, and their comedy career just disappears.
Or it's a thing now where I've heard of this. It was like a big time actor gets an offer from Netflix, be the star of the show, 10 episode first season. He's like, I can't take it. Because they're not paying me enough, there's no residuals.
Right.
And it's 10 episodes, and then I can't work for a year.
Yeah.
And I've got to wait, and if they pick it up, then I can't work on anything else.
Yeah.
And it used to be 25 episodes.
Yeah.
And now it's 10 that doesn't seem like an industry that I'm even trying to
No,
break into.
I know.
I've had friends who have written a movie, and then taken 10 years to get financing. And then the studio comes in and changes the casting.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. It's like, you spent 10 years of your life on this.
I know.
And it got ruined by the most random thing, like, why would I give up the control I have as a stand-up comedian?
I do like the idea of getting an idea for a film and doing it in 6 months. You know what I mean?
If you do that, great.
Yeah.
You do it all yourself, Tyler Perry?
Yeah. Well, I was hoping you would do it and put me in it.
You're that level now. The level of, like, I hope my friends put me in something.
I'm offer only. With my
Okay.
friends.
Okay. I see. Were you in Unfrosted?
No. Thank you.
Get out of that one.
That was like when I was upset that they were following Orny Adams around for comedian for the documentary. At the time, I was like, I should be the guy they follow, shouldn't they? And then when it came out, I was like, oh, thank God.
Jerry Seinfeld wrote me a very nice Instagram DM. I had said, because when I say 20 years of stand-up comedy, it's 22 now. I go by the day that the movie Comedian came out in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Because I walked, it was playing in a theater near where I was living in LA. I walked to see it at noon on opening day, and I was like, got it. I'd done a couple open mics, I was terrified.
Right.
I was like, this is what you just go up and fast, and you keep doing it. And you just go and keep doing it. And I put out a thing like 22 years ago today, and it was the poster of Comedian. I saw this movie in theaters, and I left the theater a Comedian.
Wow.
And he wrote to be like, thank you for talking to the movie. I really appreciate it. Like, always been a fan.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That is
didn't
really
expect
cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, there was. Comics have a real fondness for that, and especially at a certain age, like they really hit them at just the right moment, just finding it.
When a young comic comes and says, what advice do you have? I just say, watch the movie Comedian. It's the
Right.
best thing you can tell someone. It's just like, just keep going and failing. Like
Yeah.
that, if Seinfeld can do it, then you can do it too. Like
Right.
it's okay.
Yeah, so great. Well, the special's amazing.
Thank you.
Really so good. It's very rare when you put it on and there's just been a couple recently, like over the last year, where the hour goes like that. It's just like that.
So
that was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, again, it lives for so long, it lives forever, the clips go up, but I'm hoping that people see it and are as excited about it as the audience was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a maturity to it. There's like you've done it. You stuck to your style for so long. Like you didn't waver and try and do other and so you got to watch this thing that you're doing mature. And you're at the top of your game, which is a good thing after 20 years, like to still be improving.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, and I like that you're building on the whole body of work now.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like being a stand-up has been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a different level of respect a different level of attention that I'm like, oh, I've earned this.
Yeah.
But I just want to keep going. I was thinking about retiring. Like maybe 5 hours is enough. And then just like being on stage at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Being on stage at Sydney Opera House. I was just like, oh my God, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to cash in on the respect I've earned and go out and keep doing these sort of things. So I'm getting to work on the next hour.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep enjoying it. Try to get like this character at 50 is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What will that be like?
Yeah.
That
It's
I'm
only gonna
looking
get better.
forward to? Yeah.
And whenever you feel like, I always feel like whenever you feel like retire or stop or change or shift, you just need a couple days off. You just need to retire. You're just tired. And after you take a little break and you kind of come back.
It's easy to get to.
Yeah. Last question before we go. And thank you again. I hope you enjoyed it, Brad. When you saw the clip of me and my special, did you think too skinny?
I thought skinny. I thought Tom was working out for the special. Like he knew when the date was, and he was doing a little extra time on the treadmill to get ready for that. But you look good.
All right, good.
You look good.
But not too skinny.
Not too skinny.
All right, thank God.
I called my special Bones and All, and I was worried. Like in the edit, I'm like, do we have to change the name? But it was like, I look fine.
Yeah.
Like you look fine.
You look great. Thank you, Anthony. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Appreciate it. That's
We
good.
got it, Joe.
Austin McBroom is getting sued again. Just because the Ace family stopped making videos on YouTube, it has not stopped the lawsuits from rolling in, I'll tell you that. There hasn't been one in a while, but here we are where he is getting sued by someone for content that he was making earlier this year. Remember when he said that he was broke and that he was living in that trailer? Well, apparently he was messing with his neighbors, and they were not happy with how disruptive he was in the community, and he has been hit with a lawsuit, and we're going to spill on all that has been revealed. Austin McBroom is no stranger to a lawsuit, as he's racked up quite the collection over the years from people suing over not getting paid by him and so much more. This also isn't the first time we're ever hearing about Austin being a bad neighbor, since a couple years ago, Austin was getting called out for the fact that he was driving a jet ski in his pool that caused water to go over the side of his house with Catherine, ruining their neighbor's property below them.
You're disrespectful to her pool. You're so disrespectful to her pool.
Why didn't you hear our song?
Why does this keep going to that shit? Stop playing shit that I liked when I was a fucking teenager.
Spending 2.5 months behind bars hasn't stopped the rumor mill from churning out new stories about P. Diddy. The latest, that the disgraced music icon is responsible for actor Jamie Foxx's mysterious hospitalization last year. New allegations say Diddy could have poisoned Jamie Foxx, and apparently Fox is telling all in his upcoming Netflix special. But could there be any truth to these allegations? And if not, are we looking at a new defamation case? We'll break it all down with attorney Joe Richardson, who says the Diddy conversation is far from over. We're inching closer to the 3-month mark of Diddy calling the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn his home. And after last week's third bail denial, it seems like that's where Diddy will be staying, at least for the foreseeable future. He's being held there on federal charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Federal prosecutors allege Diddy was the mastermind in a sex trafficking scheme. Some reports say his alleged illegal activity dates back to the early 90s. Diddy's accused of drugging dozens of victims, sexually assaulting them and reporting it as a means of blackmail to keep survivors quiet. But now those same recordings are being used against Diddy. They're even mentioned in the federal indictment against him. It seems that civil suits against Diddy are being filed weekly at this point, as more people continue to break their silence. And it seems that the latest person to call out Diddy is none other than Academy Award-winning actor Jamie Foxx. Fox made headlines in April of last year when his daughter Corinne announced he was recovering in the hospital. But what exactly he was recovering from was a mystery. By May of 2023, Fox was out of the hospital, recuperating at home after he was reportedly treated in a physical rehab facility in Chicago, with a focus on strokes and brain injuries. Last summer, Fox addressed his health issues for the first time, saying he'd been to, quote, hell and back. He explained only a bit more, saying he had a headache, then got an Advil from a friend. After that, Fox said he was, quote, gone for 20 days. He didn't appear in public until December of 2023 to accept the Critics' Choice Association Vanguard Award. Fox still didn't say exactly what happened, but revealed he couldn't